you doing, all you beautiful... Fucking timers, man. How you doing, all you beautiful sons of bitches? It's your boy Backseat, and today we are back with another Ant video. This time, he is claiming that Elon Musk doesn't understand Cyberpunk 2025 and Sci-Fi. So, right off the bat, what well, first of all, we got Luck Pup, Evan, Herb, and John on this. So, right off the bat, guys, do we agree with this title? Yes or no? Does Elon Musk not understand Cyberpunk?
I've never heard him talk about Cyberpunk, so I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't. Elon Musk never really appealed to me as a gamer. Like, he never really came across as that to me.
Yes.
Yeah, I really can't
Well-
tell you whether he understands Cyberpunk or not, but I know that people like Ant, they love to tear people down with specifically being like, oh, haha, they just don't understand it. So this is probably just reading too much into something or a bunch of nonsense regardless of what Elon has said.
Yes.
Yeah, that
Herb?
sounds like that's what we should be expecting from this video. But if you were to ask him, like, I guess conceptually what Cyberpunk, is like, I think he would know a good deal. It's because he's running Tesla, with his
He's about to
vehicles,
cause
his, automated vehicles. So yeah, Neuralink, he's I don't know. So he's at least got his foot in the door, mentally, thinking about these concepts. Like, I don't know. I think it would be fair to say he knows a little something about it, but to what degree, I couldn't say either, so.
I mean, the only thing that Elon Musk comes across to me, and I'm pretty sure all of us to an extent, is that he is a corporate bureaucrat who is so memeable.
Yes. He's a fountain of memes.
And he, like,
Anyway.
generally
And
tries to have his toe into
He
everything,
also
so he-
had a cameo appearance in The Phantom Menace. It was a deleted scene though, but
What?
he was one of the drivers of the pod race.
What?
Yeah, there's this
What
dude
the?
with really
Hold
big
on, hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah.
I need to look this shit up. Hold up. Oh
It's
my
like, Jabba, if I could just get in my pod racer right
I
now.
gotta look. This if this is true, my mind will be blown. Hold up. Oh God,
Hey, was he Saboba? Elon Musk Saboba.
He's not. Well, he's all right. Well, he's not. Hold on. Well, he doesn't have a page on Wikipedia.
sorry.
He doesn't have a page on Wikipedia, and
They wouldn't allow that anyway.
They'd
They'd be like, oh, Elon, he was never in Star Wars. Whoa.
Yeah, sorry to derail the.
No, I don't see it. He's not mentioned on the Wikipedia page for the movie, so yeah, I don't think he was. Sorry, Herb. But whatever.
I'll share a link with you. Just,
all right, share it with me.
With the
all
recording.
right, share it on with me afterwards. But yeah, anyway, so without further ado, let's just jump right into this, shall we?
Gibson's Neuromancer.
And Herb, I think you were thinking of Jar
Jar
Jar.
tuned to the color of a dead channel. And that's a future I don't think anyone under the age of 30 can even imagine anymore. Yet the novel became
Hold
a
on,
foundation of
Ant, we're
text
not
that inspired
Ant.
the
We may be
Cyberpunk
young, but we're not that stupid. Hang on. What the hell? I know what a dead channel looks like on TV.
Only
I
can
hate all
understand that.
these jokes about, oh, young people younger than this don't know this, because they're always wrong about the ages and what they don't know.
I like whenever people say that for like things that are still currently a thing. They're like, oh, does anybody know what a PlayStation controller is anymore? Oh, the kids today. I'm like, that's still a console.
Does anyone? Have you kids ever heard of something called Atari? Anyway, let's keep
How you
going.
do, fellow kids?
Yes.
movement, and with it, an entire lexicon of ideas that
Oh, Kirby,
details
you
what a
don't know this,
worst-case
but
techno
when I was
culture
your age,
might
I
look
played on a new console called the Xbox.
Yeah. Anyway.
High technology, low living, country borders dissolved, giving way to massive industrial empires. Companies have private armies of cyborgs, wielding advanced weapons and Japanese katana from 3 centuries prior. Cars either fly or move like armored blocky tanks through crowded streets. And the only place
Had to
of
pause
freedom in
before
this
streets.
sunless, desolate world is the net. An endless consensual hallucination where someone can shake off their physical shell to become whatever they want. A ghost in the machine. Neuromancer, Robocop, Blade Runner, Snow Crash, Ghost in the Shell, Bubblegum Crisis, Akira, The Matrix. Seminal texts that became how we see cyberpunk.
Yeah, The Matrix wasn't a text.
The only one here who thinks the Matrix is slightly overrated.
A bit, yeah.
Because The Matrix doesn't even really focus on the future shit too much. It's like, it's about people in the Matrix, which is just our modern day. So like 90% of the movie is just inside of the Matrix anyway.
Yeah.
I only think of it as cyberpunk.
So, the guy that played Robocop, he came to my school once for this art show, art demonstration, because he sells like paintings and whatnot.
Uh-huh.
The story occurred. While he was showing this one piece, and he was talking about like the price and all that, someone in the crowd yelled, "I'd buy that for $1."
And did he roll his eyes and go, ugh?
Nah, he laughed. He laughed.
Good, good. I'm always happy whenever people like still have fun with their seminal roles and they're not like, I don't talk about that anymore, you know? It's always nice.
I wanted Han Solo to die.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway.
Quite an experience to live in fear, isn't it?
We get it. There are good sci-fi movies. Why are you just showing a highlight reel of all the good sci-fi movies?
Gotta pad that runtime out.
How funny would it be if the whole video was just this? He's just reasons to playing randomly.
That would be hilarious.
Yeah.
He's like, I did the voiceover at the start. That's transformative. And I cut it up and put in different movies.
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta get the attention of the
Something happened
people.
along the way. Maybe it was Shadowrun and Cyberpunk Red. Maybe it was Hideo Kojima's various games.
Keep naming
influenced by
things,
the genre.
yes.
Who really knows? But somewhere along that way, Cyberpunk got confused for just cool sci-fi, and the systems of
You just
power
did
this
that.
world criticized. From international...
Yeah, literally, but I also,
Human body.
I have kind of a prediction. I know that people like this, they love to take something and apply like a meaning to all of it that is not necessarily there, or is not necessarily across all of the genre. People that say stuff like, oh, cyberpunk is queer, punk is queer, people, so I really hope that he's not doing that.
Oh,
Make apply a central overarching meaning to the whole genre that is just not there throughout all of it, or is blowing it up more than it really is.
Yeah.
Yeah, or like you make something else that's like not saying the same exact message as another thing in the same genre, and he's like, oh, they've appropriated the genre. Now it's not about corporatism anymore. It's like, well, just because it's cyberpunk, it doesn't have to be about corporatism.
Yeah.
Like
I'm pretty sure there's like a spin-off genre of cyberpunk that's a bit more optimistic. I think it's called like post-cyberpunk or something like that. I don't know. It's definitely post-something. But it's basically like a more optimistic look. It's like, hey, you know, maybe the corporations and all this technology, maybe it can be a good thing and whatnot, but I digress. Yeah.
And they all get Sweeney's sex box.
Damn right!
It became something that big nerds thought was just really, really cool. And those colossal dorks gained billions of dollars in forces
And
for
calling
roleplay
people
and cyberpunk
dorks,
fantasies.
okay.
Except, you know, they're the industrial overlords, but think they're the lone wolf hacker.
He really
Meanwhile,
doesn't. I don't.
We're neither.
Yeah, I'm already
Just the
droning at
peons
this.
forced
Like, okay.
of shots.
Yeah.
The NPCs who are oppressed. The low lives.
How are you oppressed?
Live low.
Dude, it's still a free market. You don't have to buy his shit. He's not like taking over everything.
I mean, it's not like Elon Musk is BlackRock or anything.
Bruh.
Like Elon Musk is like, I'm going to make a product. You can buy it or not. He's like, oh my gosh, we're being oppressed.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, all of this doesn't boil down to like, oh, Elon Musk is a rich oligarch, so he could never understand this genre of fiction. I mean, there's a lot of people that have never truly faced oppression or any of the dystopian elements found in a lot of these works, but they can still like the genre and understand what it is.
Yeah. I've never had an abusive family where we're all trying to kill each other, but I could still fucking get invested in the Mishima bloodline plot, you know what I'm saying? But anyway.
Yeah.
Yo, Chimishima, fight!
I never had a mom who
Holy
died, nor got abducted by aliens, but I can still enjoy Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah. Anyway.
Oh, really? Never happened? Oh, okay.
You see, Gibson,
Well, wait, hang on.
he didn't know much
Evan,
about computers.
hold on. Evan, you're telling me that you're basically a magnet for celebrities, but not aliens? What the hell, Evan?
Hasn't happened yet.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, anyway. Okay, let's keep going.
Well, only celebrity aliens like that singer in Fifth Element.
Yeah, of course.
Anyway,
I like how
moving on.
Ant went with his Matrix look as well.
When he wrote Neuromancer.
Ooh, yeah, I'm
There's
so
a scene
cool.
in
I'm so
Neuromancer
cool.
where
I got my
Case
fucking
is really,
jacket
it's
on.
very far in the book, and you know the crunch has really come, and he needs to communicate really quick. So he says, "Somebody get me a modem."
You know who else needs to communicate
You
really
know,
quick?
This is really
That guy on the screen right
embarrassing. But
there.
when I
Yeah.
Wait, what was that?
You know who else needs to communicate quickly? The
That
guy on
guy.
the screen right there. Like, he keeps on stuttering and all that.
That's right, old man.
Ooh, roasted.
wrote that,
Let's see if
I
Ant
didn't
can.
know
He never
what
does. He
came
always
from it.
drags everything on way too long.
What'd you say,
Yeah.
Loco?
Let's see if Ant can, because he always drags everything on way too long and pads with irrelevant stuff just to make
Yeah.
it seem better.
Yeah, he must be Ant Senior.
Yeah. John, put it on 1.25. Put it on 1.25 at least. Alright, let's keep going.
It was just this word.
Now he's
that I
talking
had
normal.
heard computer people use, and it had something to
Thank
do
God.
with communication between computers. So it makes absolutely no sense in the context of the imaginary world.
Okay, so you didn't know
World of
computers.
that book.
But he was heavily involved in counterculture. William S. Burroughs' Naked Lunch is far more...
You know, I would just like to
Yeah,
note
sure,
one
make it.
thing very quickly, that Western, Japanese, like any genre, typically the Western and Japanese depictions and themes commonly found across the work tend to be different. Like Western cyberpunk works versus like the Japanese cyberpunk works, which is mentioning both, there's a lot of differences that some people may just not notice unless they were really paying attention, or really just not on the surface, but there are definitely differences, like comparing any genre to how it's depicted in the West versus Japan.
Well, in
Right.
Western, like, people, and especially leftists, I found, they have to shoehorn everything into, like, our dichotomy. And so it's like, oh, if they support this, they must also support this, this, and this, because that's how our political parties are. Meanwhile, a Japanese
Exactly.
guy can, like, support one thing and, like, you know, either be indifferent or not perfectly aligned with all your other beliefs, you know?
Right.
Than, say, Star Trek, Star Wars, or even do androids dream of electric sheep. And yet,
How is
this book would
Star Wars
forever change how we
counterculture?
talk about computers.
I don't really know.
Because don't you know it's all about Vietnam? Everything's
Oh my
about
God,
Vietnam.
I am
Be out there at the moment.
I am so sick of that fucking narrative. I swear to God.
I literally tried to bring up that also the American Revolution was there, and this guy got so pissed at me. It was in the Andor comments section, to be fair, on some YouTube video about it. I ventured into to see their crazy thoughts, which I found people wanting them to remake the OT like Andor. Anyways, this guy, he's getting all pissed. He's like, "You're trying to distract from the fact that it's about Vietnam." I'm like, everybody's already talked about that. I'm just saying that it was clipped out. And he
Yes.
also talks about this. He's like, "No, you're trying to distract. It's all about Vietnam. Talk more about Vietnam." It's like, dude,
Yeah,
you're
start
pissed
to joke over our topic or shut up.
Yes.
because I'm not fixating on a single point.
All right, here's this
Any
guy.
hackers. I'm not part of that. Not really part of that community. But when I began to write those books, I was interested in the intensity of
Stephen
avocation
King's
that some computer
nephew.
programs seem to feel. So I think I must have decided that
Just
one could
me, or
take.
does that guy look like
a
less
computer program.
creepy Neil Gaiman?
Yes. Oh, we'll get to
and
get
sort
to
of vague
Ant's Neil
themes.
Gaiman video one of these days. You better believe it, folks.
What's that pill and those pills and bottle on his desk there?
Oh no.
Spin on it and come
I don't know.
up with a
What is that
viable,
there, Mr. Gibson?
a viable anti-hero of some
Oh, we
kind.
lost
And
her.
it worked fairly well. It
Uh-oh.
certainly gave a lot of computer
no.
programmers a new
We just soldier
He'll
on?
be
Or...
back. He'll probably
Yeah,
be back.
let's just keep going.
kind of swag.
Yeah, it's a long video.
Yeah.
Jacking in, cyberspace, ICE. These are terms we now
ICE.
associate with the computer technology we use today, thanks entirely to Neuromancer.
Bro,
Well, I mean,
hang
ICE
on.
has an association
What
with
the hell does I don't even know what the fuck ice even means. What the shit?
They get rid of illegal immigrants.
I'm just like only and
Illegal
nodding, just
virus,
like,
that's
okay,
something.
say whatever.
Yeah.
Old hacking, at least. The word now has a very different application in today's lexicon. I think it's like how Star Trek influenced cell phones, right? The design of the cell phone was heavily influenced by Star Trek. And likewise, the computer hackers of the 80s and 90s were heavily influenced by the world of Neuromancer. Even though Gibson's understanding of technology was limited, it still proved instrumental in creating the media we know
And
today.
whenever I put myself on screen, I try to be somewhat animated or have some inflection. You're just filming yourself in the most monotone voice, doing nothing with your body in
Yes.
front of a static background. Throw some
Yeah.
pictures on screen or some shit,
And
man.
sort your fucking bookshelf!
Yeah,
Well,
you know
he
he
doesn't
thinks
ever
that
actually
looks
read the
cool.
books.
Yeah, he thinks it looks so cool, I can guarantee it.
Fuck yeah!
He displayed Us and Will Gibson back there.
Don't
I guess
you-
I'll buy those
Oh.
now.
Don't you know the
Hey.
Dewey Decimal System? Anyway.
The novel
Sorry about that, guys.
focuses
I
on
just got good
Case,
news from my
a
fantasy league for Money in the Bank.
Good.
Oh,
who can neurologically plug into cyberspace. Case was 24. At 22, he'd been a cowboy, a rustler, one of the best in the sprawl. He'd been trained by the best, by McCoy Pauly and Bobby.
he's the best of the best. He has 3 Purple Hearts.
He'd operated on
Yeah.
almost
4
a
medals
permanent
of honor.
adrenaline high, a byproduct of youth and proficiency, jacked into custom cyberspace deck that projected his disembodied consciousness into the consensual hallucination that was the Matrix.
Whoa.
After a job goes south because he skimmed some off the top for himself.
Also, there was a typo there. I'd just like to point out that wah the Matrix. Anyways, just nice job. Attention to detail there.
Nice going,
Product of
Ant.
youth and proficiency, jacked into custom cyberspace deck
Ant
that
fell for
projected his
shit.
disembodied consciousness into the consensual hallucination that was the Matrix. After a job goes south because he skimmed some off the top for himself, the
Damn,
corporation
bro.
basically burns out the part of his brain that
Some
allows him
needles.
to access cyberspace, leaving him basically useless as a hacker. A thief, he'd worked for other, wealthier thieves, employers who provided the exact software required to penetrate
This
the bright
reminds me of
wall
the
See,
thief
when
where
the
he goes to
voice
his
drops,
VR.
opening
you
windows.
know it's serious.
Yeah.
What's that? Oh yeah.
When the voice drops, you
Yeah.
know it's serious.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Into rich fields of data. He'd made the classic mistake. The
He
one
put
he'd
on a
sworn
very
he'd never
slight
make.
robot
He stole from his
filter on
employers.
himself.
He kept something for himself and tried to move it
Or
to
like
a fence
static.
in Amsterdam.
It's
He still wasn't sure how he'd been
Cyberpunk.
discovered, not that it mattered now. He'd expect to die then, but they only smiled. Of course he was
I will bring gayness to the
Welcome to
cyber
money.
world. Meh.
And he was going to need it. Because, still smiling, they were going to make sure he never worked again. They damaged his nervous system with wartime Russian microtoxin. Strapped into a bed in a Memphis hotel,
Damn
his talent burning.
communists.
Is it mycotoxin or microtoxin?
I think it's mycotoxin. Let me look it up. Hang on, what is it?
No, see, here's the thing. They put a Y in there to show it's dystopian.
Let me see here. Mycotoxin is any toxic substance produced by a fungus. So he's being so he's basically had his nervous system damaged by communist shrooms, like mushrooms.
Oh,
Communist
yeah.
mushrooms.
No, Russians weren't real communists, you see. So really, it's not a condemnation of communism at all.
Uh-huh.
Out micron by micron. He hallucinated for 30 hours.
It's like the
damage was
Last of
minute,
Us
subtle,
fungus.
and utterly effective. For Case, he lived for the
Cordyceps.
bodiless exulsion of cyberspace. It was the fall. In the bars he'd frequent as a cowboy hotshot, the elite stance involved a certain relaxed contempt for the flesh. The body was meat. Case fell into the prison of his own flesh.
It's called masturbation. You don't have to be so long-winded about
A
it.
girl with sunglasses surgically implanted into her face, with knives concealed under her fingernails, who represents a strange man named Armitage. Case is given an opportunity to regain his ability to access the net if he performs one last run. Of course, should Case fail,
One last ride.
just destroy the nervous system in his brain again, keeping him from having what he wants yet again, shorting him out of the net. He's not told he has his poison put into him until after he agrees to the procedure and has it done, which is just lovely underhanded tactics there. Of course, Armitage is not who he appears to be, and everything turns out to be a massive ploy manipulated by an AI. Said AI has been divided into 2 halves, Wintermute and Neuromancer, by the Tessier Ashpro family, a dynasty that lives among the satellites and the stars in order to rule among the ruling class. The AI, however, wants to be united, because separately,
you just explain the plot of the book now? I
But
thought we were
collectively,
talking
when
about
the two
Elon
halves are put
Musk.
together, the AI
Yeah, it's
gains
always this. Has to
humanity.
explain everything that is not completely related to what he's saying at the start, just to prove he knows something, just to circle jerk over,
Hey
knowing what
man,
it is.
hey Luck Pup, man. How else is Ant supposed to flex his nerd cred? I mean, come on, let him have his
He's
moment
just
here.
reading a fucking wiki plot right now,
He
anyway.
really
Yeah.
is. I do not believe Ant wrote this all out. He fucking CV'd that shit.
I'm gonna go one
probably
further. I don't think he's ever read this book. No
Yes.
fucking way.
These
Probably
videos are made for people who
I
just
can't
will
write.
hate on Elon Musk and the opportunity, so they already know what he said, even
And if you really just want to read off the lore of all this shit, just start a fucking lore channel for God's sake.
Or a theory
it's
channel.
always
Theory. He call himself
Oh.
Ant Theory.
Yes.
You might as well make a theory channel.
Yes.
He could be like, whatever the fuck book he's talking about right now, Necromancer or whatever. Be like, Neuromancer lore explained.
Yeah.
And it shows
Talk
him
about
like
how everything
with a
is
thoughtful
theory.
look, looking at the cover of the book on the thumbnail.
Yeah.
And the
Soon
big
enough, you'll
bold
be
text.
invited
explained.
to whatever company owns this particular IP for special events and get loot boxes.
Yes.
Somebody asks a
Make,
specific
like, a-
question. They've actually read the book, and he's just like, "Oh, well, that's really interesting. Yeah, I never thought about it that way. That's crazy. Yeah. Anyways, next question."
Yeah.
It's like, oh.
What if he made a channel dedicated to like talking about actually outwardly queer and communist literature? I mean, that would never happen. He wouldn't really be rewarded for that, but that'd be crazy. Maybe.
Yeah. That'd be
He would never do it because he couldn't get any views.
Yes.
He wouldn't be able to grift.
Yes. That's why we're here. The Backseat Boys are here to shift the grift. Anyway.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
He's out. He's just a product.
Punches at
And
grift
even the
speed,
super elite who run
Chewie.
everything are slaves to their own systems that they've given power over to, until those systems decide to run things for themselves.
Just got nice
What they
tits.
want
Yeah.
is to be more human. The character of
Her hair's a little
the
short.
femme fatale who introduces Case to Armitage. She herself first appeared in the story Johnny Mnemonic, which took place before
Mnemonic.
published originally
Not
in the pages of
Mnemonic.
Omni magazine and collected in the Burning Chrome anthology. And yes, it was later adapted in the 90s in a film with Keanu Reeves and a cyborg hacker dolphin.
Spoilers, I never saw this.
Anyway, what's the point of all this? What's the point of discussing Neuromancer?
To pad your
25?
fucking video,
Beyond
we
that,
know.
it's a good book.
Yes.
Well, simply put, it and Blade Runner helped create the aesthetic of cyberpunk we still see today, influencing a ton of creatives and works of...
I would like again to note that he has also used Japanese examples of cyberpunk when the things displayed in the origins of cyberpunk media in Japan and the West are completely different. This is not really a case where, per se, a genre was created from an existing Western genre, per se, like some other Japanese stuff may have been. But it just seems weird to me that he's focusing on solely really the Western stuff when his initial examples included several examples of Japanese media.
Like, wasn't Akira a big inspiration for Blade Runner? Or...
Yeah, especially since like Japanese stuff early on more so inspired the West.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know when the Akira manga was. I know the anime was sort of around the same time. I think that was 85 or something. But yeah, obviously the manga was probably before that. But then the other thing is like Blade Runner was a noir, like a genre, but it was also in the
detective,
future. Yeah, it was very much inspired by like earlier films and like a completely other genre that they then said, okay, we'll make a noir, but in the future.
Oh yeah,
You know?
Decker is definitely a Sam Spade XP, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, yeah, it's influenced by a lot of things, and the things that influence it were influenced by a lot of things. Like, obviously, all the art kind of intermingles at a certain extent.
Yeah.
But more importantly, a bunch of dorks thought it was a really cool idea and that we should just make it for real. And if you don't believe me, look at everything that Elon Musk has created in the last 15 years. Or rather, what he has purchased and claimed credit over the last 15 years. Neuralink.
Neuralink is going too quickly. It's trying to do too much, and as a result, animals are being harmed and killed en masse. So as a result, for instance, in 2021, 25 out of 60 pigs had the wrong size implant, and of course, every time there's a botched experiment, they have to be killed, and the experiment has to start again.
Cybertrucks.
He said animals were killed en masse, and then he said 60. I watched an Instagram video where they killed a bunch of boars because they were attacking a ranch in Texas. I'm pretty sure they killed about 25 boars in that video. This isn't a mass extinction, you stupid. They do experiments on animals for a reason, so that they can die.
No, John, you don't understand. He's experimenting on animals. That means he's a fucking Captain Planet villain. Ugh.
Like Jeff Goldblum, the one who wanted everybody to hate people with AIDS.
No, that was actual verminous scum.
Yeah, that was an actual Captain Planet plot, by the way. He got everybody in the gymnasium to start yelling at the kid with AIDS.
No, you said the positive is the HIV virus, which leads to AIDS.
Yes.
This was a Tesla that caught on fire on August 8th, 2024 in Lafayette. The fire,
was
charging. Flames leaped, setting another adjacent Tesla.
That fire wasn't started by the truck, but rather some arsonist who thinks he's making a political statement.
With understanding.
There's going to be experiments, and some of them are going, like, shit's going to blow. This is the same thing with, like, whenever the rockets blow up. It's like, would you rather just nobody ever try to advance anything? Because that's the only way you're going to avoid accidents. Like, I got a lot of shit to criticize Elon for. He's, like, temperamental and, airs his laundry in public and all that shit. But, like, trying new things is not something to criticize him for. And
yes.
And also, a lot of cars have fucking manufacturing defects and shit way more than the Teslas.
Fix it again, Tony.
What was the joke? It was in the movie Top Secret. They even joke about the one car that, like, when it got rear-ended, it would blow up. And it wasn't like an electric car or anything, but this was like in the 80s that they made this movie. I think it was a Pinto, where it was known for, like, this manufacturing defect where, like, because the one scene in Top Secret, they, like, roll up on it super slow and just tap the bumper and the car blows the fuck up. And it's like, and I was watching with my parents, luckily, and they explained the joke. They're like, oh yeah, it's the Pinto. Oh, that was hilarious. They were known for blowing up.
Found on road dead. Yeah.
Cars have manufacturing defects, and sometimes they don't work right, especially experimental ones.
Yeah.
Tesla on fire.
The challenge being that they keep reigniting once we put them out until the energy of the batteries is completely used up, if you will. So it takes a lot of water to put the batteries out, and they do restart themselves in a thermal runaway situation.
SpaceX.
The 7th test flight of the SpaceX Starship
called that one
in a catastrophic explosion over the Atlantic Ocean. Burning debris was captured by people on the beach in the Turks and Caicos Islands.
The thing about this is, whether it's good or bad, he's just trying to create concepts he thinks are cool. I don't really think it's anything deeper or more tied to anything like the cyberpunk genre as a whole or anything regarding understanding.
Like, he went from evil corporations trying to control everyone to, sometimes his experiments don't work.
Wow.
Like, that's a pretty fucking different thing that you're talking. He's not trying to control a bunch of people.
Well, shit.
He's trying to make a new transportation.
Well, shit. By that logic, I guess Jimmy Neutron doesn't understand cyberpunk.
Who knows? Never saw him read it.
Not only that, but he's also trying to be the evil people in cyberpunk, apparently. Like,
yes.
I'm going to make a rocket. Oh, you're evil. What? Like, anytime anybody tries to advance anything in technology, apparently they're the evil people in cyberpunk, according to this guy.
Yeah.
Broke apart during its ascent burn. Early indications are that a fire near the rocket's tail caused the destruction. Dozens of flights were diverted as the FAA issued a warning to pilots of falling debris.
Buying out a global communication startup company known as Twitter and turning it into his personal Echo box.
Whoa.
Hold on. Time out. Let's park it right there. Hold on. John, you want to handle this one?
Okay, Twitter, I believe he bought it for 40-something billion. That's not a startup, first of all. Second of all, Twitter was also already the largest social media platform, like fucking reaching millions and millions of like hundreds of millions, I'm pretty sure, of users whenever he bought it. He bought it in what, like 2021 or something? Like this was way after Twitter had matured. Twitter came out in like 2007, 8, 9.
Something
It
like
was
that,
like
yeah.
over a decade old.
Mhm.
It was not a startup. It was the dominant platform for celebrities and everybody to interact. Like this is not him like, ooh, I can do this and control the communicate. It was already being manipulated in the opposite direction, by the way, as it was frequently used. One of the things that inspired him to buy it was them suppressing all the information around a certain virus. And like completely controlling the information more than Elon ever has on any subject. There are posts that shit all over Elon Musk that get hundreds of thousands of likes, and yet people complain, Elon's controlling the information.
Yes.
Yeah, it's funny, like, it's the opposite. Really, Twitter isn't even really that different. Twitter's always been more of a less restricted platform compared to others. It still basically is. The only thing I've really noticed since Elon bought it is the report system not really working, but okay, big deal. It is to these people, but in reality, it doesn't matter. Like, they make such a big deal over this, but is it really doing anything? Like, the very few things it's done aside from that problem with the reporting has been like positive. So what is the big deal? Like, why is this a thing?
Community notes, he's added that. That's like to correct misinformation, the thing that they're always complaining about. He actually added a measure to curb it,
Yep.
which has now been copied by other social media platforms, I'd like to add.
Yes.
None of which you care about are being owned by, like, Twitter used to be owned by Jack Dorsey, and he could control this shit. Was he an evil sci-fi villain? Facebook and Instagram are currently owned by Mark Zuckerberg. Is he a sci-fi villain? Maybe.
He's definitely a lizard man. He's definitely a lizard man. We know that.
Definitely more so than Elon Musk, I would say. He's not nearly as transparent and shit. Elon opened up the whatchamacallit, the code. He has the algorithm as public, basically. I'm trying to think of what it was that he like opened up to the public, where you can basically look at, and any sleuth who knows coding and shit can look into, the source code, I think it is, but he's basically like, if there were any biases programmed into Twitter, somebody would be able to see it because they can see all the shit. It's on the surface. It's transparent.
Yeah.
Yeah. And people, yeah, they never think twice about who owns any other social media platform. Just because Elon was like a very talkative person who made himself a public figure, so that's why the only reason they care, just because there's something there that they can try to say.
Yes.
It's literally the only one that actually out of the major platforms. Obviously, there's 4chan and shit, but out of the major platforms of like Facebook, Insta, YouTube, all that shit. Like YouTube's actually not too bad in a lot of respects, but you know, as far as like, oh my gosh, it's owned by someone who we don't know is on our side all the time. Therefore, it's so dangerous and such evil, and it's Nazi echo chambers.
Political opinions. Of course, a lot of scientists do draw from sci-fi to create their things, but the problem is that sometimes if you try to pursue a pursuit based purely on it sounds cool from a sci-fi novel, you may inadvertently create a system that causes dangerous situations to occur.
Don't you see the danger, John, inherent in what you're doing here?
Yeah, this has nothing to do with misunderstanding Cyberpunk, but okay.
Yeah, this is literally about like biology and shit and recreating monsters. You could say it's a metaphor for technology, I guess.
A bunch of bioengineers without any oversight committees or any control create an island where dinosaurs reign free. And yeah, that sounds cool in theory, but you can't maintain control of something so chaotic and so unexpected.
Well, actually, you could if you didn't have Newman shutting shit down.
Life and nature in the wild.
Life finds a way.
You cannot contain nature. And in fact, in the novel, there is the added horror of potential viral outbreaks because they might have brought back old bacteria and viruses from the prehistoric era alongside the dinosaurs, as well as toxins and venoms, and no one knows for sure the entire implications of what will happen to these creatures. You can't anticipate every single result, especially if your science is driven by just trying to be cool.
Our scientists have done things which nobody's ever done before. Yeah, but your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they could, they didn't stop to think they should.
And yes, Jurassic Park is not cyberpunk, but it is sci-fi. And as we've seen with Elon Musk's various inventions, they are some unexpected consequences that have real impacts on real
First person ever die in a car.
yeah, like Elon Musk and the team behind this, I think that, yeah, obviously they know that there are that risks that could happen, bad stuff. Whether that's good or bad, whatever. The point is, he seems to think that they're completely oblivious to that. I really, really, really doubt it. They're just, for their own reasons, pursuing it anyway.
You gotta you gotta break a few eggs to make an omelet. You know what I'm saying?
Also, people have died in every model of car in fucking human history that has sold any significant amount.
Yes.
Like, I know you can cherry pick articles and you can say, oh, look, the Teslas are killing people. It's like, am I going to take so if somebody's Ford goes into the river and they can't open the doors and they die, am I going to be like, wow, Ford is so evil? Like, no, I'm going to go, oh, that's unfortunate, but enough people driving enough cars, yes, accidents will happen. Like, we're going to try and prevent it and have safety as much as we can. But at the end of the day, you can't just shut down a whole industry because it's not perfectly run at the results even aren't perfect. I'm not even going to talk about running it. Like, they have safety tests, obviously.
Yeah. I mean,
His
hell,
recent acquisition of the United
I mean, yeah.
He's going to agree with Idris Elba about not having points on knives because some people might accidentally stab themselves.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's like, I mean, how many of these Tesla accidents were the fault of the driver? Let's be real with ourselves here. You can't just remove, like, the other people from the equation and blame it on Tesla. Anyway, I
And
digress.
squinting at you right now, he's like, ugh.
Well, and if you're gonna squint at me, I am going to put you on the fucking thumbnail. How about that, motherfucker? All right, we can continue now.
United States government and his decision to hook up the Department of the United States and all of its associated elements to AI that really cemented that this is just a giant roleplay session for him. He wants to bring his cyberpunk fantasy.
A lot of people are doing AI.
To life.
Don't you see the danger, John, inherent?
You say what you
What
want
you're
about
doing.
AI, but it's not going away anytime soon, so you could at least utilize it in some capacity or just get left behind.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good as a replacement. I think as people have started to use it over Google in a lot of instances, it's like that's kind of like a decent application that's probably not too harmful, where you're just like, oh, it's basically a super advanced search engine and it can filter out results or something, or explain things in different ways or whatnot.
I mean, I'd probably say this as a screenwriter and filmmaker, but I tend to draw the line with AI when it comes to like using it in the final product of film. I mean, you could use it to give like a producer or an investor an idea on what you're trying to go for, and they'll be like, "Oh, okay, this is neat. If you could replicate this, but with real people and technology, then yeah, that could be pretty cool." But if you're actually using AI to make something and then putting it out there to make money, then yeah, that's kind of where the line should be drawn.
Money, make money.
Page and screen to the real world. And if you don't believe me, just look at those Cybertrucks again. They're directly taken from movies like Total Recall.
Oh,
boxy cars.
Continue then, shall we? Grok, the AI system that Musk has installed in Twitter. Oh, I'm sorry, X.
We need to understand what Grok actually is.
Our AI Grok is modeled after The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which is one of my favorite books. It's a book on philosophy disguised as a book on humor. I would say that forms the basis of my philosophy, which is that we don't know the meaning of life, but the more we can expand the scope and scale of consciousness, digital and biological, the more we're able to understand what questions to ask about the answer that is the universe.
Well, that's frickin' deep.
The name Grok is taken from Robert Heinlein's Stranger in a Strange Land. It's a word coined in the book.
Meanwhile, Michael starts throwing around a Martian word, grok, which is kind of impossible to fully define in English, but means something like really, really understand something, like on the deepest possible level where you make it part of yourself. It was actually popular enough that it kind of entered the real world, so if you want to impress your 60s friends, feel free to start throwing it around.
Well, that's frickin' deep.
No! It's just dumb!
On October 9th, 2024, Tesla hosted a We Robot event. We Robot sounds like Isaac Asimov's famous anthology, I, Robot, the story about the 3 laws of robotics and all that. And the subject of the summit? It was about self-driving cars.
So they've been traveling, there's no people in them, as you can see. The car's just going by with no people.
Oh no, not self-driving cars.
And we have 50 fully autonomous cars here tonight. So you'll see Model Ys and the Cybercab, all driverless.
Kind of ironic he names his summit of safety and AI after A story where robots are supposed to not harm humans, and your cars lock people into the car when fires happen.
It's so I like how he had to reuse the same article. It doesn't happen too often.
Reality into his cyberpunk dystopian fantasy. He desperately wants to be cool. He wants you to like him. On top of trying to profit and make his fantasies a reality,
Plenty of people
he
like
also
him
wants to
already.
look like the coolest person around, even though anyone with a modicum of understanding about the thing he's trying to be the coolest guy around in recognizes how artificial his attempts to be cool are. And if you need proof of that, look no further than him cheating at video games to impress gamers who can immediately sniff out bullshit.
The literal first thing you learn upon getting to the end game is how to operate this map device. You're going to start off at a node, and then from that node you can go to adjacent.
But it wasn't because they immediately sniffed it out. It was because Asmongold covered it, you sir.
Yes.
So I know you don't want to give him any credit because he's another right winger, but let's be honest.
Yeah.
I don't really
Connected
see
maps.
Elon
No,
as a
Elon.
right winger. I just see him more as just a regular.
I know. As far as how Ant would see him, I agree with you. Actually, I think he's fairly neutral and reasonable. But
Yeah.
there's a reason that a guy who never showers got so popular. It's for having good thoughts.
He's trying to click.
Oh, he's trying to do the map that's not in the chain.
Because he's a millionaire, but
I mean, like,
uses it to crowd his desk with fast food bags and cups.
Fucking
I have two McDonald's,
Asmongold's house is like the fucking perfume department from SpongeBob. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah. Anyway.
The Roach King. But I mean, this is probably like the worst thing that I could get on Elon for is it's like, yeah, absolutely. He like completely lied about this, and he later was like, I think it was like to demonstrate whatever his internet thing. I'm trying to think of what it's called now. What the fuck is it called? His internet, Starlink. He was trying to demonstrate Starlink, so he was playing it on a plane, and he played the first level, Path of Exile. He was kind of failing at it, so it was like afterwards he did like a genuine thing where he was like, "Oh, I'll try it out for real, though."
Yeah.
Not eligible to enter that map.
I just want you guys to understand, this is one of the highest level hardcore characters in the game. He would have played thousands of maps at this point.
Anyone who's level 97 is, and you know, we're talking one of the most efficient players in the game, period. There is no way you would do that. Why just like sitting there like some sort of geriatric old man clicking this node, expecting something to happen, and then he finally kind of gives up after a while, and then realizes his mistake.
Allegedly, when the game Cyberpunk 2077 was being developed, when Grimes was recording her lines for the game, Elon Musk entered CD Projekt Red Studios with an antique gun, requesting that he be put into the game as a cameo. Though players have yet to figure out where Musk is hidden in the game's code, apparently he's in there, which is about what I'd expect from this guy.
Elon Musk is a worm I like
He's
to
in the
spitballs and throw
Tyson
tomatoes
zone.
at from time to time because he is a jaw-droppingly embarrassing specimen of pure cringe that it is impossible to fight the urge to clown on him. Yet, whenever I do, and whenever anyone mentions Elon in a less than flattering way, you will have the most unlovable Cro-Magnon swarm you, dogpiling like it's World
Not
War
this
Z
dude,
zombies.
Penguin
trying to
Zero.
defend
He has
Elon from
become
a slight criticism.
really what he's describing here, just cringe. Just gives the most milk toast opinions that everybody will agree with, and everybody goes along just because, oh, he has a monotone voice, oh, he's cool, he looks like Jesus, and he makes the funny poo-poo fart jokes, oh, he always gives the right takes, yeah, because he gives the most milk toast takes that all the idiots are already agreeing with, so he already knows what to say.
Tell
He
us
has
how
no
you
right
Tell us how you
does
really
the-
feel, Luck Pup.
From what I've
Yeah, like,
seen,
that was-
I don't watch a lot of him, but he seems to kind of just do the red letter media thing where he's like, "Oh, I don't care. It doesn't really matter, but like it was kind of lame or whatever, but I'm so above it all. I don't really care."
Yeah. He used to be funny when he made videos that weren't on topics that would prompt that, but now that's all he does. And literally, he waits to comment on situations until he sees what the agreed upon opinion is. And he literally, he'll state an opinion, but he'll act like he's so above it the whole time. Like, yeah, this, but oh well, doesn't matter. What do you care? Really, I can't stand him anymore. Not even funny anymore. It's just his humor is so childish.
The thing that threw me off of him was Snow White. He did like an in the car kind of review, and he's just like, "Oh, I heard there was like controversy or whatever, but I don't really care. I didn't really like it. But like not because of all that culture war stuff. I'm just like, okay, you don't have to mention this like kept mentioning it like over and over, and it's like I feel like you did see all of that, and you just want to emphasize that you are not hating it because of that, which is great, but like you don't have to be so insistent on it.
I mean, it's fine. I mean, we all don't like it for various reasons.
Yeah.
But of
like
course, if you
even this
really
like
have to make sure that you want to come across as, oh, I don't like it because, it's got Rachel Zegler, which is a completely justified reason to not like Snow White.
yeah.
But
I hate whenever
Right.
people just like try to be they overemphasize their nonchalance. Like Red Letter Media does it all the time where they're just like, just so you guys know, I don't care as much as those other people about this. I'm very cool about this.
Yeah.
I
Too
could be an
cool for
adult about this.
school.
Yes, he's just a tryhard in every single way, and is doing one of the worst things. Being a tryhard, trying way too hard to always appeal to both sides. Like, get over yourself.
Yeah.
Jokes were about him. These gonad gobblers will always blow my mind because I don't understand this.
Just because someone disagrees with you or take on Elon doesn't mean they love Elon, by the way.
Everything they hype him up to be, he is the opposite. He is not cool. He generates AI images of himself where he's not like this meatball.
I agree, he's not cool.
He is not for free speech like they like to hype him up as. He's not championing free speech by any means.
The
In
way
fact,
I
I
see
personally
Elon
think
Musk, he's the nerd who managed to get big, got huge, he has all this power, but yet he doesn't know what cool is, so he's doing what he thinks is cool.
So in other
Yeah,
words,
you can
he's
even
Todd
tell when
Howard.
he
Idea of what cool is.
even when he hangs out with like, whenever he was like hanging out in the White House and stuff, he was awkward around them. Like everybody else you could tell knew.
He's got that
Like,
high
imagine,
grade
like-
autism.
I think it's just because Elon just does what he wants, and he has a lot of money, so he can do what he wants and make his own concepts. And since obviously this is a unique position he's in because he has enough money to do all this stuff, he's in the public space and likes to share his ideas. I think a lot of people they're kind of making assumptions about why he's being public about this, but it just seems like he does what he wants and wants just is making that public, not for any really particular reason.
Well, there's a big misinterpretation of like, I think it's good most of what he's doing as far as like X and Tesla and SpaceX and stuff. That doesn't mean that I think that he like is a personally cool person. I think he's really socially awkward and like he'd probably be weird to talk to and stuff. But like supporting an idea does not mean that you're like, oh my gosh, this person's so perfect in every way. It's just like, no, I generally think that like, yeah, it'd be cool to have rockets to Mars. I'm happy that somebody is trying. I don't really care if he can't speak well, and I'm still gonna make fun of him whenever he has awkward moments and shit.
Yeah.
Like, I'll still shit on him for stuff, but like, it's not that serious. Is the thing. Like, I'm mad at him for inconsequential things like lying about video games, whereas I'm kind of in support of him as far as the major things go.
Yeah.
think he is someone that is firmly against it in almost every single instance. Like, he personally banned the word cis. He actively bans things that hurt his feelings.
What people like Elon Musk don't
That's not
understand.
really about him. That was more of like a anti-trans thing because his kid got taken away from him.
Yes.
And also like, as I mentioned, there are multiple times where he's been ratioed on X. He doesn't ban the accounts. He doesn't. Even whenever he reinstated Trump and Alex Jones, like he pretty much didn't like those guys at the time.
Yeah.
He just did it because it was right.
He's not only free speech when it's convenient to him, I guess is my main point. It's like he's very much free speech even when it works against him. He doesn't like then crack down on it or react to it. He's just like, whatever, okay.
Quote caveat.
Like really see like many people, it's not the hardcore alt-right image that people are trying to push on him like at all. They're just trying to push it, but whatever.
Fucking Ubisoft
Well,
ratioed him and everybody hates them. So, and he didn't do anything to their account. They're still gold check mark.
Yeah.
Those enamored by tech
He
never
could,
do.
but he chose not to.
Cyberpunk isn't good. In fact, most of the technology does not improve life. If anything, it makes it worse. It's not a good thing to test your ash pool as a family
Technology
live in
makes
satellites
life
and have
worse?
extended their
Did
lives
Ant
for
just
centuries.
say
So I
that?
guess Ant's solution is like just stay where we are. Don't try to develop anything because cyberpunk stuff is bad. Like, that seems to be his general correlation that like advancing anything makes you a cyberpunk
Wow,
villain.
I didn't know Ant was
Yeah.
such a Luddite. Holy shit.
Imagine in like the 1900s or the mid 2000s, where we were just creating the flip phone. Imagine if some adult came in and says, we shouldn't do that. It would make our lives instantly worse.
Yeah, guys, you're being like cyberpunk, bro. You're being a cyberpunk villain, bro. Why are you making an iPhone? Whoa.
What? A phone that
cryo
can
sleep
take
cycles of
pictures
genetic
and watch
engineering.
show you videos?
Guys, everything can be recorded all the time now. This is dystopian future.
Yes, we
Whoa.
can't. Yes, it's super evil to watch videos wherever you are in your phone. We can't have the normal people watching Backseat Boys on the go. Anyway,
Well, in fairness, that show is pretty cringe.
it is
but...
pretty cringe. Yes,
It's like the time that like idolizes the time before social media, but for really stupid reasons wouldn't actually want to return to that time.
No.
They post on social media about how much they hate social media.
Where
Like,
else?
you can log off anytime.
Where else will Mom Cedar post fucking images like promoting Live, Laugh, Love then without social media? Anyway.
It's
probably just have to
Tyrell
print it on a
Corporation from
poster and
Blade
hang it
Runner
around
creates a
church
race
walls.
Yeah.
of synthetic people who perish after 4 years of toiling away.
He hasn't
Dying
made that.
Just as they become self-aware enough to see the value
Yeah, let me
of
find
their
out who the
lives.
first
We began to recognize in them a strange obsession. After all, they are emotionally inexperienced with only a few years in which to store up the experiences which you and I take for granted. If we gift them with the past, we create a cushion or pillow for their emotions, and consequently we can control them better.
Memories. You're talking about memories.
Oh, and those replicants, should they...
Like the corners of my mind.
They're executed on site. It's not a good thing that hackers and Ghost in the Shell can just rewrite a ghost, a person's soul, and completely destroy their identity, removing their memories, sense of self, turning them into slaves of their own mind so effectively that they never even know who they once were.
Can you remember your mother's name or what she looks like? Or how about where you were born? Don't you have any happy childhood memories? Do you even know who you are?
It's not a good thing that in Altered Carbon, the rich just get to live forever because they're so wealthy.
Yeah, one thing I want to note is any type of media like this where something is very obviously portrayed as in the bad, there's always going to be some people that think it's cool.
Yes.
And you really say that's wrong, that's their opinion. And something like with Ghost in the Shell, where this is obviously something that nobody, not even the evil Elon Musk, would try to make a reality. So,
Dude, fucking...
what's the point? What's wrong? What's the issue?
Fucking Hideo Kojima made Metal Gear Solid 2 just because he got mad that everyone who played the first game liked Metal Gears. Like, oh, I want a fucking robot that shoots nukes from anywhere. Or to anywhere. It's like, bruh, how...
think Metal Gear could be Gurren Lagann wall.
How am I supposed to think that's not cool? I mean, come on! Oh my,
I just love that, like, he specifically calls out Musk because he's like, oh, he's made Neuralink to, like, help blind people see and stuff. Clearly, he's just like the people that rewrite everybody's minds in Ghost in the Shell. It's like, dude, that's a pretty big leap. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I don't get it. Like, there's always people that would see, like, a dystopian world like this, and they would, of course, think it's cool, but want to live in that world. But would they ever try to make it a reality? Not even the evil Elon Musk would do it. So what is going on here?
And if Ant seriously believes that, like, this is how shit gets started, then that's the slippery slope fallacy right there.
Well, and it's not the people who advance the technology that are like it's the people who want to exploit it. Like, put it this way, I'm far more worried about Jeff Bezos doing something like, oh, keeping all the poor people, he lives forever or whatever, than Elon Musk. Like, like there are a lot of billionaires you could pick out that have the power to do something like this. He's probably the least likely out of them. Now, I'm not saying that he won't do it. He obviously still likes making money, but like, to single him out is a little bit strange. Talk about rich people in general, or talk about other specific ones.
Yeah.
Because Jeff Bezos doesn't post on social media or try to be somebody in the cultural sphere. So what's the point of going after him?
Jeff Bezos just got his hot wife to appear at the inauguration so that Mark Zuckerberg could stare at her tits, and she's probably an android.
My man.
And he
That's
looks like Lex Luthor already, so you know.
Yeah.
When one flesh shell shorts out, plug it in, start again in a new, healthier body. This technology is, of course, not available to the poor. Why would you even ask that question? It's not a good thing that in RoboCop, OmniCorp makes shitty technology that fails constantly.
I had a guaranteed military sale with Ed 209. Renovation program. Spare parts for 25 years. Who cares if it worked or not?
I don't know how to explain this to you in simpler terms. OmniCorp, no good. You don't want OmniCorp. It bad.
Right?
And then I'm sure someone's going to see OmniCorp and think, oh, that looks so cool and shiny, and I want to be in those suits and the high-rise buildings and all that. But it's not just Elon Musk. Elon Musk is a symptom of a larger trend. People have for years loved Cyberpunk, but not realized
media literacy.
Fuck
the
off.
poses, the ideas, the philosophies, secondary.
This is all I was gonna say. Oh my goodness.
I think one
Yeah.
issue.
Yeah, people, they love to always want to see somebody doesn't understand. No, maybe people understand, they just see the other side of it. And a lot of people, they realize that the full extent of what this is never going to be reality. So, okay, well, there's no harm done. It's like, like any story, people are always going to think the villains are cool. And more than that, people will, like, if I lived in this world, I'd want to be on the villains team. But stuff like this is just paranoia to think that this is what people are wanting to really create. It's literally paranoia, the video, a bunch of stuff held together by paranoia.
Ant gets pissed if you buy the upgrades in fucking Deus Ex Mankind Divided. He's like, oh my gosh, you think it's cool to be able to hack into people's brains? I'm like, well, in the video game, yes, it is cool because it helps me achieve my goals easier.
Yes.
He's like, oh my, people like it. Why are they doing this? No.
Don't do this cool thing, bro.
I really hate this narrative they push that if you don't agree with them or you don't have the same opinion, you're ignorant and you don't understand. No, that's not how it works. It's not an automatic equation there.
Like, I can acknowledge something is evil, is cool and evil. Like, Darth Vader's cool as shit. It doesn't mean I want to go around strangling people. Like, obviously, I would
Darth
not want to
Nihilus
be
is
evil.
fucking awesome, but that doesn't mean I want to eat fucking planets for breakfast.
Like, I'll cosplay as him. I'm not going to actually murder people.
Whoa,
That doesn't mean.
Whoa, John, you
Yeah,
cosplay?
of
What
course.
the hell?
Everyone loves Darth Vader, but we don't want to go around murdering children.
John, you cosplay? What the hell?
I have. I've been Loki. I've been what's his face? Trafalgar Law, and what was the other? Oh yeah, I did a zombie Han Solo one time because we did a Halloween party where it was assigned, and so somebody gave me zombie Han Solo, so I had to make a fake bite mark on my neck and have blood all over the shirt.
Should have gone as like
That was
you should have gone as like a zombie Corbinite Han Solo.
Go
I've only
Carbonite.
cosplayed once. I was the guy from Top Gun. His name escapes me from the moment. Tom Cruise
Iceman, Goose,
character.
Maverick.
Yes, Maverick.
Oh, wow.
I met Johnny Young Bosch in that flight suit. Then I met him again in regular clothes, and I showed him, "Oh yeah, I met you in cosplay once." And he asked me, "Why don't you cosplay anymore?" And I was like, you know, probably because I didn't have it on me. And Johnny's like, "Because you have a life, right?" And I'm like, "Yep, that's it."
Yep.
I just need to lose some weight so I fit back in the costumes. Anyways.
Anyway, yeah.
Is how often cyberpunk aesthetics overlap with the aesthetics of sci-fi like The Terminator, as well as retro 80s aesthetics such as retro wave, vaporwave.
Well, guys, if you think the Terminator is cool, you want to kill all the humans. Oh,
associate with, say, RoboCop.
I don't know why this
Is he literally saying the Terminator is a world people want to live in? Cause no, dude.
The apocalypse.
Yeah, let's live in a world where we're all fucking dead. Yeah, that sounds great.
People thought those tanks and the lasers were cool. Clearly, they want to live with a nuclear wasteland.
There's
Oh,
always-
gosh.
Some people, I guess, would want to live in a world like that if they are one of like the few like people that are not living in it or being able to do what they want. But that's a specific fantasy that does not involve all the suffering.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
What is this? I bought Dr.
Oh,
Disrespect's NFT game. See, NFTs, Elon's never pushed those, and they're way worse than anything you're talking about.
Yeah.
Fucking Square Enix and whoever else has pushed the NFTs.
About the ideas.
Say NFT, they'll start a new
Watching something like Blade Runner,
John,
you
go
immediately
back 20 seconds. We're talking over him.
All right, what are we at? 2239, so 2219.
all. I think one issue is how often cyberpunk aesthetics overlap with the aesthetics of sci-fi like The Terminator, as well as retro 80s
Why is that an
such as
issue?
retro wave, vaporwave, etc. They associate cyberpunk with the action they associate with, say, RoboCop, Terminator. They don't think about the ideas. They think about the action. When watching something like Blade Runner, you immediately are aware
We still want the villains to
You
die.
gotta pay attention to the themes, man. Oh my god.
Like, yes, we pay attention to the action because those are some of the best scenes in the movies. We still want the villains to lose. We still cheer when the heroes win. This is like the fucking, oh, the Empire's good. You want them to win. No, I still cheer when the Death Star gets blown up. Like, what? No.
You have
You're
to.
misunderstanding
You have
people,
to. No, John. The correct answer is that you have to consume media the exact way Ant approves.
You have to nod and go, yes, this Vietnam
Yes.
allegory is very poignant. Yes.
Teddy
You can't
bear,
go,
yes.
oh, Darth Vader's cool.
Teddy bears beating up soldiers in white armor is deep, man.
Don't cheer when the logs hit the ATST.
Yes.
So you can't
It's
be
like
happy.
poetry, guys. You know, it rhymes.
Yes.
Oh my god! Like, how is this guy enjoying movies? You sit there with his chin on his.
Dude, I would absolutely hate to have a movie night at Ant's house. I absolutely would.
Imagine like everybody's cheering when the Death Star gets blown up, and he just turns around to you, he's like, "Don't you all understand the themes at play? Stop it!"
I do. I just don't care about them as much as you do, my guy.
Why are you having fun watching this? This is a very serious message. We should all cry.
You're watching a noir. You're watching a detective story. You're watching an investigation into the depths of humanity. It's more Chinatown than, say, Rambo.
Yeah, there's a reason I don't watch Blade Runner often. Also, like, it is very serious, and I very much appreciate the message and everything, but I only need to hear the message once, first of all. Like, I get it, but also it is very serious, and yeah, it's not as, like, a cheery, like, throw it on in the background kind of movie. It does have heavy themes. Everybody seemingly knows that. I don't know many people who fucking throw on Blade Runner and are just like, oh, well, bros, let's crack a beer and watch Blade Runner.
Yeah. that fight scene in the rain is like so action packed.
Like, nobody does this. Who has he interacted with?
I have no fucking
The
clue.
frat boys that watch Blade Runner on a Friday night. Like, what this imaginary person he's conjured in his head.
Yeah.
Associated cyberpunk and the sci-fi robotics immediately with hard.
Oh, you can't enjoy the police shootout. He's killing guys.
And weapons of an
Police
unusual nature.
brutality.
But stuff like Terminator doesn't really force you to question humanity all that much. Sure, T2 does that to
It's
an
so
extent,
terrifying.
but nothing quite like how Blade Runner makes you question the divide.
I'm sorry that everything isn't as serious as Blade Runner. Like, what do you want?
But in the modern day, a lot of cyberpunk aesthetic has become shorthand for the glory days of the 80s. I think these folks who want cyberpunk to be real just really love robots.
Yeah, why is this
and
a
they think that
problem? Might as well make a
nothing to
commentary on Edward Penis fans.
Bro, there's serious sci-fi, there's like heady sci-fi, and then there's more fun. Like Star Wars is like sci-fi fantasy. This is why it appeals to more. Not everybody's looking to fucking introspect on their entire philosophy of life every time they go to the movies. I'm sorry. Like, there's a reason that the Oscar movies are some of the lowest grossing movies over the last, like.
Sometimes the curtains are just
in
blue
theater
because
right now, we're seeing that new Wes Anderson movie, The Phoenician Scheme, and yeah, it looks like it's gonna be big Oscar bait, but you know who's coming to see it? Only like 5 people in total throughout the entire day.
yeah, sometimes the curtains are blue because the author really liked the color blue.
It's like, I can appreciate it. I'm not going to shit on a movie for trying to be deep, but I may not watch it because maybe I don't feel, because maybe I already understand that message and I just don't feel like hearing it again over the course of 2 hours. And like, maybe I've had a hard day at work or whatever, and I just want to relax and not think of that deeply. Like, it doesn't mean that I disagree or that I don't know the message or that I don't understand the message if I see it, like you seem to think. It just means that I don't feel like consuming it.
Or let's be blunt here, sometimes you don't care about the message.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes the message isn't nearly as deep as they think, and they take 3 hours to say it, and you're just like, okay, even if I agree with that, I don't really give a shit.
Robots are cool. No argument there. But it's how robotics are integrated with society and industry that makes cyberpunk such a distinct genre. They see cyberspace.
So he wants all cyberpunk to be the same, essentially, I think is what he's
opportunity
saying.
Hack the planet. And they stop there. That's the end of their insight on this whole thing. They want to roll up the character sheets and go on a sci-fi heist, go on a run.
Yes.
They want to acquire mechanical arms and biotics and go off and do crazy wild things. They want to use the computer chips to live forever, to conquer death itself.
That'd be nice.
But don't ever question the idea that what is human about a digital copy, a replication of
Yeah, because that's not the meaning and theme they're trying to go for in the works, okay? Why is he presenting this like it's a problem or there's some failure here? No, that's not what they're wanting to have in that story.
Because
but, I mean, there
how
are
dare
stories
people
included.
have fun? Am I right?
Like,
It's like criticizing it for not including every possible element.
This is like the guy that he'll like play Far Cry Blood Dragon and be like, but what does it mean that this man, is this an introspection on his psyche that he wants to go back to his 80s mentality? Is he trapped in his childhood philosophy?
Ants would no doubt make that fucking video. I swear to God, he would.
Just go watch Andor with human help and have some fun together. And fucking Ants.
Luck Pup, you should have fucking been there. This fucking idiot showed up in John's chat and he was like, you just don't understand it. Oh my God.
Oh no, I've been busy lately, but I'll come anytime to clown on Ant, definitely.
Yeah, anyway.
Technology for high living. Cyberpunk's not about that. It's high tech.
Some of it is.
Low life.
So they're developing a brain.
Not all about what you wanted to be about.
Essentially a chip that's surgically.
Ants, there is a faction in Sid Meier's Alpha Centauri, one of the expansion ones. They're called the Data Angels. They're basically the Cyberpunk guys, but they're basically like, yeah, you know what? All this shit's kind of good. Yeah.
The one painting Cyberpunk as all the same. He mentioned some Japanese media. If you look more into Japanese media, there's a lot more of it that does actually go deeply into these themes and elements. I think he would like a lot of Japanese media if he looked beyond the few that really got popular in the West. But yeah, not gonna happen.
I know Ant is a big Evangelion fan, so making that.
I was just gonna bring that up. Yes, it's just like I was gonna say. Like this is like he wants every mech anime to be Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Yeah.
Like he literally just wants everything to be the most serious version, the most introspective, the most like philosophical, and there can be nothing else because that is not what mech anime is. It can't be Gundam where they cheer whenever the villain gets his head fucking blown off. It has to all be Neon Genesis.
I love Evangelion. I would love to see his thoughts on it.
I don't think he's made a video on them yet. Anyway, I'll look through his backlog.
Not yet, at least.
But like, holy hell, you can have your deep shit. It doesn't mean that everything has to be that.
Yeah.
Implanted into the brain, or as you'd say, the spinal cord, which allows you to.
Wait, those are two really different things. The brain or the spinal cord. Be clear. What are we implanting in? Like this dude's like, or as you would say, the spinal cord. I'm like, those are two entirely different things.
Computer does or allows a computer to trigger movement in say a disabled person. Musk is very, very keen to bring this to market quickly so that anyone in the public can buy one of these chips.
In January, Elon Musk announced his company Neuralink had successfully implanted a chip in a human. That person is now sharing how his life has changed since.
I didn't have anything to wake up for in the morning, and this has changed that for me.
What can you do now with the chip implanted
Later that this
you
was
could not
on the
do prior?
person who actively wanted it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have to volunteer. He's not forcing it, and he's full disclosure on everything. I'm sure he disclosed on the risks. Probably had him sign some waivers. Like, shit could go wrong. We're messing around in your brain, obviously. Like,
I can control a computer. Just
Clearly
like,
not a
which is
case with some sort of financial coercion.
Mr.
Something
Peavy,
I
don't
was able to
scratch at
do-
my door. Sorry, guys.
beforehand.
Just last week, news that some of the threads in Nolan's brain had retracted, affecting the performance of the device.
How'd you take the news when they told you that the threads had retracted?
Yeah, it was really hard. It was very, very hard to give up all of the amazing things that I was able to do. I think I had like cried basically afterwards.
Case fell into the prison of his own flesh. What? When Elon Musk created
Are you saying the guys just want to stay paralyzed forever? Like, what? you talking
Wow,
about?
who knew Ant was so ableist? Holy shit.
How dare he
Right?
enjoy having abilities that he hadn't had for his entire life,
Yeah.
and then he loses them.
Holy shit. Fucking
Unironically, why is
Christ.
this able-bodied man talking over a disabled person?
Yeah, Ant, what the hell? Who
This is like a poor
thunk?
person, and you give them $1,000 every month for like a year, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I've done so much with this money." And then it's like, "Oh, but how did you feel when they stopped giving you $1,000 every month?" And you're like, "Oh yeah, it kind of sucked." And it's like, "Oh, but shouldn't they have never given them any money in the first place then?" It's like, no, I'm pretty sure they're happy with the thousands of dollars. Like, you're getting more than what you had, regardless of even if it completely disappeared. The guy got to walk for weeks or months or whatever when he never got to, and he never would have without it. Like, and maybe he will in the future again when they can improve it. Like, you just want him not to try. You just want him to leave him motionless. He just said he didn't have anything to wake up to. Like, Jesus.
Neuralink, he didn't do it for the good of humanity. He did it so he could be Case from Neuromancer.
Really?
Plugging into
Come
the net
on.
with his neurons firing
How
off.
dare people How dare
harsh.
people have noble aspirations, am I right?
I don't care if Elon did it completely. Like, Elon could come out and say, "Yes, I did it completely for money, and I just want to make a lot of money off of this." I'm like, he's still making paralyzed people be able to walk. I don't really give a shit.
Yeah, and yeah, for one, like, why does it matter? And for two, how does he even know this? I've looked into Elon Musk, like the stuff he's been doing. There isn't really any actual evidence that he does not at all want to help people. Not that it matters. Literally an assumption, but again, this means nothing. This whole video means nothing.
Even if you go into it with completely non-noble intentions, I'm sure that or maybe he didn't, but whatever, most people I think would even feel if they just wanted to purely make money off of Neuralink, if they saw a person walking and fucking probably very emotionally reacting to like, "Holy shit, I can walk for the first time ever, or the first time in years," or whatever. He's probably going to be like, "Well, yeah, I did feel pretty good about that. Even if I still want to make money off of it, I can still feel good about helping somebody."
I can see clearly now the rain is gone.
He can apply this to any like the first polio vaccine. He'll just be like, "Oh, but don't you just do that so you can be known as the guy who made the polio vaccine?" It's like, what does it matter? He cured a bunch of people with polio.
No, I just wanted like the presidential medal for curing FDR, dog.
Jesus. He can apply this to anything.
Of course, scientific reality is sometimes a little different than the imagined.
If Trump signs he's getting ready to take that D right now in that picture. But like, if Trump signs the fucking Ukraine peace accord tomorrow and it like stops all the fighting, he'll just be like, "But didn't he just do that to increase his own image?" It's like, but there's people not dying now. Oh, it doesn't matter. I would have rather somebody else have settled peace.
Yeah. Oh my god. I swear to God, like Elon Musk, Donald Trump, they could team up and cure cancer and would still give them shit for it.
Whenever they joke about like, "Oh, Trump could go out and shoot somebody and his supporters would still be there," I'm like, sure, that's probably true for a lot of people, but also the opposite is true. He could go out and cure someone of a bullet wound to the head, and some people would still hate him. So it goes both ways.
Yeah.
Like,
of fiction. It's ironic that Musk lifts his entire cyber takeover that imposes tariffs on Canada from a Canadian author like William Gibson. The problem is that these folks miss a few key points. If you're in charge, you can't be punk. They obsess over the aesthetics, but miss the meaning.
This is what I was talking about at the start when they're like, "Oh, punk is queer, punk is this." They're wanting to gatekeep this stuff. Well, did Elon Musk ever say, "Look, guys, this is so cyberpunk"? Literally, they're just trying to be like, "Oh, haha, Elon Musk, you can't do this. You're not as cool as you think you are." Really, that's all this is. Like, it's so stupid. I hate this
and did
already. This part of the video.
does Ant call out all the punk bands that then supported like Obama and Biden and stuff whenever they were president, where they were the establishment? And he's like, "Oh, you can't be punk anymore." No, he didn't seem to have any sort of problem with them. Funny that.
Especially since punk is just kind of a word added onto cyber in a lot of cases. Think about it, really. Punk about a lot of this stuff.
Dude,
Whenever Punk even
fucking
mentions
Razor X is exactly like that. Like, you can't be transphobic and punk at the same time. Oh my god.
Yeah, I hate it so much.
We need to get another video on Razor X made soon. He's been keeping we haven't been paying attention to him as much as we should be. Anyway, Razor X
Is
is
the
so
outsider coming in? You can't be a computer hacker from a Cyberpunk story if you own the machines, if you're welcomed in and people are barred out from stopping you. That is simply the opposite of Cyberpunk. That is not punk at all. When you hack a system you already
Great, he's
own,
not a punk.
It's not
Great.
hacking, it's logging in. Musk wants to be Case, but he's actually the corporation.
Has he said that?
See, the reason characters
literally
want to go to
Elon
cyberspace
Musk
is
be
because
a
the world
hacker or appear like a hacker. Like what?
they live in is so controlled. On every level, their world is manipulated and mastered by corporations, by gangs, by computer systems.
Governments. Don't forget governments. You always seem to overlook
Hey,
those.
cannot forget about the government,
is
guys.
total. Corporations own everything. These corporations are run by dynasties who take to the stars to lord over their vulnerable people in opulence. Memories, identities, even the soul is a digital product that can be recalled. Let's take a look at Armitage. Armitage is the guy who gives Case and Molly their assignment. You know, the one who offered to help Case reaccess the net and then gives him slow-acting poison if he fails. That one? Yeah. So it turns out he's just a pawn. He's a traumatized soldier whose brain was fried and reconstructed until he's basically a walking shell, hollowed out and under complete control. Of course, as Wintermute informs us, Armitage does eventually break free of his conditioning, but even that is part of the AI's plan. Even when we break free of our conditioning, of our situation, we are still manipulated because our breaking out is all part of the plan. Little Case does is a matter of choice.
He's the fucking Grand Admiral Thrawn of novels. It was all part of my plan.
Yes.
You see, I planned to be fucked in the ass and come out my mouth. Thrawn's just like, you see, I planned to have all my soldiers slaughtered and to surrender to the New Republic. It was all part of my plan, yes.
All part of my glorious plan, yeah.
Yes. I plan to have my fucking eyes fucked up by Disney. Dude, you guys know how Christian is all like, they fucked up Sonic's arms? For me, it's, they fucked up Thrawn's eyes?
How about his pot belly? He's like, I'm very disciplined, you see. Anyways,
we'll
give me
get
another
to
beer,
that.
bro.
We'll get to that when I hit 125 subscribers.
Oh, no.
Moving on.
Everybody unsubscribe. He's watching this.
Yes.
I don't have to suffer it.
Yeah.
Led from one point to the next and trying to figure out only what is leading him, not necessarily if he can alter the path he's on. Everything is decided by a series of probabilities weighed against each other.
So Elon Musk is controlled by an AI. Gotcha.
The system continues to hold leverage over everything.
Oh, better yet, he is the
Your brain's
AI.
fried, you lose everything.
Oh my god. He's a little alien in a weird shaped suit.
In life.
He was the AI created by Mark Zuckerberg.
He was the Orange Clan.
He is the cell of this world.
Ant should turn into fucking Alex Jones co-host. Elon Musk is controlled by the loser people who are controlled by Mark Zuckerberg. Oh, and by the way, buy coffee brand coffee.
But I would fucking love to see Ant make an Alex Jones video. Holy shit. Oh my god.
Someone else will take your place. Everything is under control, and only those who completely liberate themselves from the system have any hope of survival.
Great.
Neuromancer is a group of Rastafarians who live in space, who are kind of
For God's sake, just make a Neuromancer review at this point. Like,
with their own religious beliefs in this techno future. And they've survived by basically
You've talked more about Neuromancer than Elon Musk, you idiot.
The only way to win the game is to not play.
Yeah, like how does any of this show that
are so
Elon Musk
involved in
doesn't understand?
And just
Cyberpunk
read
at all?
the
It
fucking
doesn't.
audio. Just make a fucking audiobook on Neuromancer already, for fuck's sake.
And why is it all just one book he's talking about too?
It's such a loose connection. Oh, he's saying there's just one book, right?
I think, yeah.
Yeah, like just keep talking about this one thing.
Yeah, he's shown this image like 10 times because he just keeps blabbering on about fucking Neuromancer.
He probably jerks to that girl in the center in that image.
Yep, he just wants the eye candy. He knows that his own face will drive the viewers away.
Wants to be pegged.
Yes.
That's what she's doing to that guy who's leaned over right now.
Yeah.
Ant
no,
wishes he
it's-
was that guy.
Yes.
Oh God, it's
Oh well,
but,
I actually have a wife and child on the way, so.
He has a wife on the way.
Wait,
He
the
ordered
wife
her.
is coming with the child?
He ordered her from Taiwan. Coming in the box. He has to assemble the Tifa sex doll. You see, this is my wife. I'm
Look,
part of the
she's
Sci-Fi.
guess
It's
what,
all
guys?
Elon Musk's
She's
plan.
dishwasher safe. He's dishwasher safe.
Yes.
But seriously, like, what is this? We're halfway through the video, and his connection to Elon Musk so far is that, like, oh, sometimes he makes experiments that go bad, and he gave this guy the ability to walk, but then it started to not work 100% perfectly. So wasn't that bad? He's just like this sci-fi villain who tries to control everybody's minds. It's like, what? I feel like this is completely unrelated.
I swear, this is what all of his videos are. A bunch of stuff thrown up with very little connection when it doesn't barely relates to the title of the video anywhere in the video.
It's like he's barely even brought up Elon Musk at all.
Game that they can only keep playing, and they keep playing so that they can continue to play.
So nothing that Elon Musk has done.
And
Okay.
all of this,
Pretty
all the stuff in Neuromancer, is done so that an AI can reach self-actualization. But even the AI is beholden to the rules, which is why it has to work so hard to subvert them. The rich who control
Like
them,
Ryan
and the AI
Johnson.
who control the rich. It is a symbiotic relationship, one feeding into the other.
Also, hang
It
on.
is a
For
world-
everyone at home listening to this, don't trust a thing that Ant says about the fucking synopsis because again, like Ant could very well be obscuring everything just to prove his points. Like he might be leaving details for all we know out of this fucking shit. So no, I don't trust Ant for a fucking minute when he recaps this fucking book I haven't read.
He's giving you a look right now. He's like, "Shut up, Backseat."
Fuck you, Ant. I'm still waiting for that debate.
No, he's like a Hassan summarizing One Piece, where he was just like, he did the worst possible sales pitch. He's like, oh, it's all just a bunch of liberal ideas, guys. It's basically a bunch of liberal propaganda. I'm like, I watched 900 episodes of One Piece. I wasn't getting liberal propaganda, you know. I've
watched 1,000, John.
Well, yeah, I don't watch the anime because it's incredibly slow paced. I read the manga up to date, but but like he literally has an entire island full of chicks that dress in dresses that try, or dudes that dress in dresses that try to chase the one character, and he runs away from them in horror and kicks them all the time because he's disgusted by them, and he's like, oh, he loves trans people. Like, what? No, I'm pretty sure not.
Yeah.
Quite simply put, of control. In the world of generative AI, some people believe we are reaching the singularity.
Yeah.
We're reaching the point where AI is indistinguishable from real life.
Right.
Both Blade Runner and Blade Runner 2049 its sequel play with the idea of AI and artificial intelligence simulating humanity.
Yes.
The replicants
Closest
are
I've ever come to
subhuman
falling
and
asleep in a
supposed to
theater.
Mimic real emotion. You have to develop tests to determine.
was doing the
whether
head
or not
bob
someone
like
is a
the,
human
huh,
or a replicant.
It took more than 100 for Rachel, didn't it? She doesn't know.
With your head banging.
I was like slapping myself because there was nobody else in the theater because it bombed.
And likewise in 2049, the AI Joy is conditioned to respond in a way that engages with the user. It is, simply put, a program that has a set number of prompts, a set number of responses, and is designed to learn. To
It's a
condition
shitty
itself
AI.
to offer the best responses tailor suited to your wants and needs.
Even Grok is
but
better.
Is it authentic, or is it just regurgitating information right back at you?
A large language model, which is where we take language and we model it. And we make predictions in this technology where if I see certain types of words, then I can sort of predict what the next set of words will be. I'm going to oversimplify here for the sake of simplicity, but think about this as a little bit like the autocomplete. When you start typing something in and then it predicts what your next word will be, except in this case with large language models, they're not predicting the next word, they're predicting the next sentence, the next paragraph, the next entire document. So there's an amazing exponential leap in what these things are able to do. And we call all of these technologies generative because they are generating new content.
You want a drink first?
Pour me one, will you? Would you read to me? It'll make you feel better.
You hate that book.
I don't want to radio.
Is that Anna de Armas?
So let's get into roasting me. It starts off by attacking me with, Luke, your obsession with data and analytics is so 2023. You're like one of those friends who never shuts up about their passion and just won't let it go.
But the replicants' memory proves to be the determining factor to make it more human, to give them a feeling of attachment, emotion, bonding. What is the difference between producing memory?
None of this has anything to do with Elon Musk. I would just like to remind people.
Yes. It's very tricky.
Exactly.
Machine
It's
learning
been a
is part of
concept
the video.
for a long
Science fiction
time.
can tease the possibility of a
Like a
machine
concept
gaining
people
sentience.
wanted to
Get on
realize.
with it!
He's just going on about AI. Like, yes, AI, very dangerous, could kill us all. We all know this. Elon Musk has warned us about this, which I doubt you'll bring up. But
No, of course not. He won't.
we've gone off of Elon Musk for however many minutes now. Let's see. I think the last time, little bit, he was maybe brought up. Oh yeah, he was brought up there with the Neuralink about 7 minutes ago.
Imitating sentience. But as we see with Blade Runner 2049, there's a difference between a machine recreating human emotion and a bio-android, like a replicant, being raised and conditioned. One, of course, is organic, with the opportunity to learn. Replicants can die, perish, grow old, reproduce. Not quite the same thing as an AI, which has a set number of responses. Yet, when people talk about replicants, they often conflate their memories with machine learning of the AIs of modern
Exactly.
That's all it is. Information, even a simulated experience.
That's not Blade Runner, that's Ghost in the Shell.
But I want to talk about something else specifically with that discussion. The idea of memory. Cyberpunk often shows...
Using the English dub, you fucking noob! Just kidding, I watch English dubs as well, but maybe not for old stuff, because they were usually pretty bad back in the day. And they still have psychos doing them, but at least sometimes the voice acting is good.
We create a cushion or pillow for their emotions, and consequently we can control them better.
Memories. You're talking about
Yes,
memories.
you already showed this one.
Blade Runner, as you mentioned, replicants are given fake memories to trick them into being human.
Yep.
This is a key plot point in 2049, but even in the original film, it's a key
Yeah, it
plot
was
point,
also a key
especially
plot
with
point
those who
in
claim that
Justice League episode Ultimate. What's your point?
Because he just has to go over every sci-fi or cyberpunk thing ever at this point, I guess.
Ant is like, oh, you want examples? Fuck that. I'll give you every example!
No, I'm just gonna bring up random shit that has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. Is the main thing. If it were actually relevant examples, I wouldn't have as much of a problem. He's just droning on about AI. And is he gonna relate this all back to Grok because it predicts some text? Whatever.
Himself.
What he always does. I don't know if he thinks it's because it seems smart, or because these videos are just made for people who want to circle jerk about this topic, so it doesn't matter what he says. I really don't.
He's hoping to be just interesting enough to be left on in the background. He's like, oh, I'll make it an hour long and then I'll get the watch time if they can just hook them with the cool clips in the beginning.
Blade Runner, you also have stories where people just buy and sell memories for the fun of it. The brain dancing in Cyberpunk 2077, or Total Recall, where someone can just relive a whole fantasy.
He's just bringing up a bunch of bad shit in sci-fi that Elon hasn't done and saying, oh, maybe he'll do it.
Sold or acquired by a capitalist organization. Deeply personal.
Capitalism. Yes, and we know you're a communist.
Paranoia.
Isn't
Paranoia in the video.
Capitalism is the cause of all these problems in sci-fi stuff. If they were just all communists, they wouldn't have any of these problems, and everybody would be lovely and happy with each other.
Oh, yeah? Oh, that's a Strider.
Yeah.
Oh.
One that Cyberpunk explores, and something that a capitalist in the real world might one day exploit.
Wow.
Were meant
fucking
to
capitalists.
They're designed that way for a reason.
No.
But in cyberspace, a person can be anything. No more limits of diseased flesh. No more restrictions of bones and metal.
No more HIV.
And for a while, that was the appeal of the internet. A place of limitless opportunity. Folks who were around for Web 1.0 can recognize how different Web 2.0 is. Social media rules. The algorithm dominates what you see and what you communicate with. You are
Honest take of the video. Social media rules.
You are delivered metadata.
Guys, you ever notice how as we become more connected with our devices, we become less connected, bro?
Whoa, man.
Nobody's ever made this point before, bro.
I know, bro. Thank God you did, bro.
He's literally doing the thing.
We become less connected with social media because half the time we don't even want to talk to each other.
Internet
Yeah.
echo chambers. No, they brought this up in a BoJack Horseman. They even joke about it, like, "Oh, you have to go into the party, and you have to have the conversation about how as we get more connected, we become less connected, or something." Because it's at a Hollywood party where everybody says that shit.
Yeah.
Oh, Ant's doing the meme.
Based entirely off of your personal interests. Everything you look at, everything you wonder
echo
about
chambers
is
bad.
commodified. If you Google search wedding rings, for example, you are shown romantic content. You are shown sales data to get you to buy product.
Wow,
and likewise,
it's called
communities built online today
advertising.
are in fact
But guys, it's evil.
Like,
controlled
bro,
by
do
the
you really
algorithm
think
that is in turn
fucking K
updated by
Jewelers is gonna sell all their wedding rings with pictures of sad people? Come on.
Yes.
Or wow, it's almost like a lot of those are caused by tracking cookies that you could actually turn off on most websites, but people just don't know that because they don't know anything.
Yes.
True.
Exactly.
Even going on an incognito tab to search your shit will help with a lot of that stuff.
corporations. A corporation has shown you who to talk to, what to say, and what to do based
We're all
entirely
controlled,
on your
bro.
marketing data that you provided to them. If you have a resource that is free, you are the product, and you are providing it.
Yeah, we know it's 2025. Everybody knows that. People
See,
just
the
don't
problem-
care, and I mean, really, why?
Yeah. I think people have gotten pretty good about sussing this out. Otherwise, Disney Star Wars would be the most popular thing on the planet because they
Yeah.
spend a shit ton on marketing and everything for it. And yet,
Yes.
one of the largest corporations on the planet can't seem to steer people into loving their shit.
Yeah.
All right.
Who want it. The only reason you're seeing this video now is because someone let you see it. And despite that,
Yeah,
people want to go
backseater.
further to
You fucking
recreate
controlling our
I'm
thoughts.
sorry,
The joy of
guys. I take full responsibility for
lens of
this.
modern corporation.
I mean, who's
I
Corporations-
turned
Yeah.
the whole world into a cyberpunk dystopia. I'm sorry.
Well, as long as you're sorry.
As long as I say I'm sorry, it's okay.
You're like the BP
long as you have
guy in
empathy
South
now.
Park. It's like, we're sorry.
Yeah.
We're sorry. Laying on your bear skin rug, rubbing your nips.
Yes.
We're sorry.
Bow before me,
He doesn't even
bitches.
use cars. He just says fuck in the middle of it. We're sorry.
Yes.
Oh, God.
And think of ways they can capitalize that. If it's profitable, do it again and do it bigger, right? And maybe cheaper. Easy profit model. But it gets incredibly ironic when capitalist systems take something designed to criticize it and turn it into an avenue.
Oh, no. People make sequels to
Oh,
things that are
no.
against capitalism.
Exploit the poor and the value of
not Squid Games.
Guys, bro, this was like against corporations, but then a corporation used it to make money. Isn't that like ironic and stuff? Wow.
Oh my god.
Well, yeah, that's
Bruh,
streaming service-
Ant, what would you rather they do? Because people gotta make fucking money. Alright?
Like, I'm sorry that people farm IPs and strip mine IPs. Why don't you call out Disney instead of Elon Musk?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, well, I have actually. It's like, alright, cool, Ant, but like, not good enough.
like
funny.
make a
I
video on
remember-
Squid Game.
Yeah.
When the first Squid Game came out, they had the guy who made it on CNN, and everyone around there was just creaming themselves for like, come on, little buddy, talk bad about capitalism for our channel. Come on, buddy. You're special. You're from Korea.
Communist News Network. Anyway.
Well, and also there's like, and I hate to sound like a fucking corporate shill, but like you stay vigilant, but it doesn't mean you just automatically assume that everybody who wants to make money is evil. There are people like fucking Gabe Newell. He's the head of Steam. I'm sure he's made many, many billions of dollars on Steam. Guess what? I don't think anybody thinks of him as evil capitalist because he hasn't tried to do any draconian shit. He just kind of like sits back and makes the money by doing good shit.
He's like, I'm Gabe Newell. Get excited for Half-Life 3.
Yeah, he is an asshole for that, but
Yeah.
like not making a sequel,
Yeah.
not being able to count to 3 is his biggest flaw. Like, and probably he should lose some weight so he can actually be around. And Microsoft won't buy Steam after he dies of a heart attack at 63.
That's what I get for working at Microsoft.
Satya Nadella is just like, yes, Gabe, have another burger, Gabe. Yes. Anyways, about my negotiation of your will. Have another Microsoft burger. He's like sprinkling cyanide on it.
He's super successful. Yeah, he could have all the burgers he wants. I mean, hell, he gave us Steam.
Yeah.
I know. I'm mainly just fearful of what's going to happen after he dies. That fucking Microsoft is going to buy it and be like, "Oh, we only make all the money on PC anyway. Let's go ahead and buy Steam too."
Yeah. Anyway.
Suffering,
Probably how
etc.
we get Half-Life
And when it
3 at the end.
succeeded,
Microsoft just
great
makes
physical cost for its creator, certain capitalist organizations and creators
Mr.
saw that and
Beast!
went, yeah, that Squid Game show was pretty popular.
Still has
What
the
if we
weirdest
just did
smile.
that
How
for
is that
real?
possible?
Shock of all shocks.
Hang
the
on, what
horrific
did he
world the show
say? Hang on,
criticized.
John,
Just
go back, go back. He's saying some shit about Mr. Beast.
3711. Go back to 36.
Oh, please give me money, Mr.
Anyone
Breast.
remember the metaverse? Imagine a bit of money. Anyone remember at great physical cost for its creator? Certain
John,
capitalist
John,
organizations and
use the
creators saw that
fucking J and L buttons to go back and forth.
All right, I forgot what button it was from last time, to be honest with you.
All right, play.
I hardly
Use
ever
your
do that
arrows
on
to go
desktop.
back a little bit.
Games is a pretty explicit criticism of capitalism, exploiting the poor, entertainment value of suffering, etc. And when it succeeded, at great physical cost for its creator, certain capitalist organizations and creators saw that and went, yeah, that Squid Game show was pretty popular. What if we just did that for real? Shock of all shocks, the horrific world the show criticized just became a reality for so many desperate people.
No, nobody died during that. Like, he did it as like a meme and to obviously ape because he understands the algorithm. That's why he's so fucking popular. Mr. Beast was like, oh, if I make a real life Squid Game, that'll get a lot of clicks.
Yes.
Yes. But I'm not going to actually murder people with robots. Not yet, anyway.
Yes.
We'll see.
Dude, I would so compete on that shit. Like, no one would want me to because they know I'd fucking win.
I'd give Nux Taku credit for this one. He said, like, we need a real life, or he called it Hunger Games, but I would call it Squid Game because that's more culturally relevant today. But he's like, we need real life Hunger Games where you get all the illegal immigrants and whoever wins gets to be deported instead of die.
No fucking joke. No fucking joke. I would fucking watch that shit. Think of the drama you could get out of that
Just
shit.
get all the people that you should give death sentences to anyway, so that nothing is like net loss. It's like, okay, we're getting all the rapists and pedophiles, and we're gonna make them compete against each other, and one of them gets to live.
Yeah. Anyway.
The winner gets citizenship. The others either die or get deported.
Yes.
Anyone remember the metaverse?
Imagine if you could be the
who doesn't?
Yeah, it was lame and gay.
Shared physical space. There's chance interaction.
It had worse graphics than PlayStation Home.
Bland corporate cyberspace that Meta tried to create back in the day. It seems like eons ago, it was only a couple years back when Meta was trying to promote the metaverse as the next big thing, as the future of the internet. You would conduct.
I can't believe Elon did that. Oh wait,
do all your stuff, go to boardroom meetings and go shopping and walk around a bad polygon facade of your house, doing things that VR Life allowed you to do for free. And unlike the metaverse, VR Life allowed you to do it while a furry. Why would you want to go to a boardroom meeting when you can just watch Joker on a digital drive-in theater as Hatsune Miku serves you popcorn? What is the real limitless fantasy? The corporate version or the version we for the backseat?
Jacked into custom cyberspace deck that projected his disembodied consciousness.
Neuromancer again.
That was the Matrix.
Companies love the aesthetic
How
of
many
cyber,
times we can go over
but
this
they
fucking
hate
book,
the idea of
at this point, Ant, just cut out 90% of this video and call it Neuromancer, an unexplored sci-fi phenomenon or whatever. Like, I haven't even heard people fucking cover Neuromancer this much in depth, and it's supposed to be a video about Elon Musk.
Yes.
Punk.
Would you like to know more?
Take RoboCop. Omnicorp owns everything, as the name implies. Specifically, they own both the police and the organized crime the police fight. They control both sides of a street war in order to gain leverage over property.
Yep.
Devalue the
Just
property.
like Palpatine in the Clone
so they
Wars.
Can then buy it, knock it down, and rebuild it. And this is not directly stated in the movie, but it's shown demonstrably. Murphy is a good cop who was gunned down by criminals under the employ of an Omnicorp executive, only for that cop's body to be purchased. Oh no, I'm sorry, acquired by another executive of Omnicorp.
Well, he signed the release forms when he joined the force. He's legally dead. We can do pretty much what we want to. Lose the arm.
Because of a legal contract, all cops are made to sign. That body is the property of Omnicorp the moment they sign up to be a police officer. Said body is then rebuilt with machine parts and paraded around for PR to promote funding for a program.
Making a real name for yourself in security concepts with RoboCop.
You try.
it fights organized crime that other executives helped create.
No
with
sponsorships.
gentrification or just directly paying drug lords.
Guys, this is an anti-corporate movie, but it just had a bunch of sponsorships for like Tide and shit. Whoa, it's been appropriated by the capitalists. Whoa. And did you know that they made sequels and video games to RoboCop? Oh my gosh, people are misinterpreting the meaning. They don't know that it's anti-corporation anymore.
Oh shit, bro!
No,
No.
people are quoting the movie and making memes from it. I remember a whole.
People want
night-
RoboCop toys. What will we do? Think of the children.
I remember one time at work, we were working late, we were closing, and we literally passed the time by just quoting RoboCop whenever we could. It's Holtz, or I'll buy that for $1. And like literally,
Dead or alive, you're coming with me.
yes, Dead or Alive, You Come With Me was another one too.
Which is what I say to every girl before. Never mind.
RoboCop. I don't really. No reason to really bring this up. I don't even think I need to explain, but whatever.
Also, sorry, folks, for those bizarre cuts in there. Some shit got fucked up, but we should be good now. Anyway, keep going, guys.
I just love this chapter title, The Painful Social Satire of Cyberpunk and the Businesses That Don't Get It. I just want to say that I only read that now after making that joke about all the sponsorships and video games and then all that other shit that we were saying about it. It's like, its points are so predictable.
Half of the companies who want to be sponsored, they don't really care if a movie is, calling them out or critiquing, late stage capitalism sponsorships. They just see an opportunity to make money, and they don't care if it goes against the message of the film. They want that quick buck.
Yes,
it's an easy villain. Of course, you can make the corporation the bad guy, and then, but if it's going to be big budget at all, obviously a corporation has to be behind it. That doesn't mean that they don't get it. They're just going to go, well, hopefully people buy it. We don't really care if it's shitting on us.
Yeah, maybe they need money to make movies, and they need to make money to make more movies, and little sponsorships like this don't actually degrade the message because they're not necessarily promoting anything that is bringing harm to people in any way, but okay.
Yeah.
To do things. Omnicorp owns your flesh when you're alive, and even after it's all over, you are still their product to rebuild.
Give you a hand job.
The film is about reclaiming ownership of your life in the face of something trying to buy.
Like that one episode of Big Bang Theory
and
where
why the final
always uses that robot arm to masturbate, and the hand gets stuck in his junk.
And it rips his dick off. Yeah, that was a pretty violent episode.
Yeah.
Super dark.
Yeah. I can't believe Penny walked in and was just showered with his blood.
That's more than one circumcision.
Oh God.
Not shooting, son. What's your name?
Murphy. But a certain billionaire's takeaway from all that is, from this nightmare film, is blocky truck cool. And look, there's a lot of strange, cool stuff in Cyberpunk. That's
the company isn't evil because they made a blocky truck, you dumbass. Like, nobody's saying that. Is the blocky truck thing? Like,
yeah, like he likes the truck, so he wants to make the truck a real thing. What do you want? Him to make everything else a real thing, or you can't make the truck a real thing? It's just not, even though it's just a truck because it's made by something bad. Literally, what's the point? Nothing. Like, what do you want Elon Musk
helmet?
to do?
Again, with the Darth Vader thing, it's like if I make a helmet in the future that looks like Darth Vader's, does that mean that I want to like strangle kids or whatever? It's
Probably.
like no. Yeah, I mean, yeah, well, already. I mean, whenever they yell in the theater,
oh my God.
It's just
kids in public are the reason I don't leave my house anymore.
But seriously, guys, like the general aesthetic.
We will truly know if Elon Musk is really a cyberpunk antagonist the day where he finds a carcass and turns it into a robotic officer.
Yes. Anyway,
he's already doing that with the paralyzed guy, bro. He made that guy be able to walk, and then he took it away by not making the perfect Neuralink the first time.
Yeah. Anyway,
he only made the paralyzed guy walk for a few months. What a monster!
It's bizarre and wild, but so interesting. Snow Crash by Neil Stevenson.
Thank God he brought up a different book.
Run pizza delivery
I'm so tired of seeing the Neuromancer.
Battle. Oh wait, with Grubhub drivers being put through life-threatening situations.
Wait, go back, John. Go back.
With this. I mean,
all right.
There's fewer pizza delivery services where each... There's a lot of strange but cool stuff in Cyberpunk that's bizarre and wild but so interesting. Snow Crash by Neil Stevenson features Yakuza-run pizza delivery services where each delivery is a life-and-death battle. Oh wait, with Grubhub drivers being put through life-threatening
Oh my god, that is not the same thing, you fucktard!
What the fuck?
Bruh, it literally says accidents right there. What's an accident? Oh, right. Something that wasn't supposed to happen. It's a bit different than being put in a game of life and death.
You know that guy that murdered 36 people? He's just the same as the guy that made the car that had an accident one time. Oh my god, it's the same person, guys. It's like, what the fuck? He doesn't seem to understand intent as a concept. And you have to, if you intend to kill someone, it's worse than accidentally killing. That's the difference between manslaughter and homicide. And then also the general idea of millions of people who are Grubhub drivers, and some of them are going to run into bad situations. Yes, that will happen because people in general die sometimes due to accidents. Like, I'm sorry, but it's just a part of life. People get struck by lightning, people crash their cars, people, you know, planes crash, whatever. Like, shit's gonna happen. It doesn't mean that we're in a sci-fi dystopian fantasy where everybody's dying because evil corporations are killing us all. If he wasn't a Grubhub driver, then it'd be a pizza delivery guy who might run into a crazy customer. Well, in fairness, I greet all my delivery guys with my samurai sword. And we usually have a nice death battle because I don't want to tip them.
Pizza,
but you know, other than that, yeah. Pizza guy's 20 minutes late, as the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles would say.
Yeah.
Maybe they were on something with this. I mean,
no,
there's fewer swords and harpoons in real life, but it's not like this very real, low-paying position is not extremely dangerous, just less flashy. And it's competitive in the same way. Minimal pay for fast, convenient service. 4 stars is a death sentence. Almost like Snow Crash is a social...
Did fucking inflated review scores in our sci-fi dystopia?
Oh my god.
Every little thing they can just to say something.
Imagine being Ant. Like, every time that you wake up and see anything, you're just like, oh my god, it's a sci-fi dystopian fantasy. We're living in the Matrix.
It's like that Mr. It's like that Mr. Krabs meme where he's like, what is everything?
He wakes up and he sees that Nintendo charged $80 for Mario Kart. He's like, oh my god, it's happening. It's happening. We're in Cyberpunk paradise.
Fucking Christ.
Shit. This dude he's like not even, he's like fucking Charlie Day and Always Sunny with the board. Like,
yeah.
Commentary on something that you miss because it was just so cool.
Oh my god.
The heroic protagonist of Snow Crash, named Hero Protagonist. No, really, that's his name. It's Hero Protagonist.
Yeah.
In some ways, the fact that Cyberpunk is just so cool actually harms its message, or at least how it's relayed.
I'm sorry we're not miserable rating Cyberpunk all the time.
Oh shit! Sorry that the shit we like is cool. My bad.
Be more miserable when you're having media, damn it.
I feel like part of the problem
True art is angsty. Sorry, Luck Pup, what'd you say?
People can't really separate fiction from reality. They think that it's always constantly intertwined. So the notion that somebody realizes that this is cool as a fictional aesthetic but wouldn't be cool in real life is lost on him because his mind simply can't untangle fiction from reality completely.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm reading fucking New Jedi Order right now. Guess what? Millions of people are dying. Like, billions of people are dying in it. There's planets that are exterminated, all biological life. I'm not miserable reading it. I'm not like, oh, jeez. Oh, I can't be happy whenever we go to Han Solo and he makes a joke. Because wow, could I?
John, if you thought New Jedi Order was miserable, wait till you get to Legacy of the Force.
Okay.
Anyway,
good teaser.
Anyway, moving on.
Deep.
But I was playing Cyberpunk the game, and I'm like, how are you worried about what you're doing? Yeah, it's like, it's pretty close to home here, you know.
He's self-referential and funny.
Yeah. Like, is this where it leads?
That we're all basically already cyborgs, right? We're already relying upon our phones. You're connected at the hip to them.
That would true you'd have hair, Joe.
And all sorts of
I
other
think
technology
we
to
were
improve their lives.
destined to be
Okay, so this is something I've-
cyborgs. That's a real Joe Rogan
Decided to add-
quote.
Oh god.
After finishing everything else, because this actually has really gotten me a little upset. You know, Elon Musk.
I can tell.
A lot of technology and industry he's worked on. You know, he's worked on Tesla.
You sound really upset all the time about everything. Actually, like, you might need to legit seek help, bro. Like,
seek human help.
No, not him. He'll make you more miserable. He'll
I
be
know.
like, "But have you thought about how you thought about things?"
It'll
He'll
be a
like, "Whoa,
match.
no, I
It'll be
didn't."
a match made in heaven, John. Let's be real here.
I'll have a spiral of philosophy and narcissism. Oh God.
Anyway, look, but we're gonna say something.
Neuralink.
I was gonna say a lot of these people, that is the enjoyment, being sad. Like a lot of the people that they watch these videos have not consumed any of the media he's discussing, but they
No.
still enjoy this negativity. That's what they're here for. They enjoy the critique and the feeling
True
bad.
art is angsty, man. Anyway.
You're literally talking about
You know
human
that
help right
quote,
now. Oh, go ahead.
Woodward said art is suffering, so yeah.
Disturbed, they're comfortable.
Anyway.
Which I always thought was kind of a weird quote.
Yeah.
But like human help, he literally made this point because I was like, I enjoy 13 Assassins. I don't think it's a particularly deep film. He's like, but have you thought about why you enjoy it? I'm just like, oh my God, you're trying to make me hate it. No.
Putting all those satellites in this guy, but none of that's new technology, right? SpaceX is just doing what NASA won't. Tesla is working in EV cars, sure, but like it's not like it's new technology. Tesla didn't invent the concept of an electric car. And hell, they've had like a mile head start in this race, and every single competitor has beaten them. Tesla is no longer the most advanced electric car, and they started this whole thing. So frankly, it's like if you run a 5K, get a mile head start, and somehow you're trailing behind everyone else.
So he just directly contradicted himself. He's like, they weren't the first, but they also had a huge head start. It's like, so they passed somebody at some point, right? Because they were EVs in like the late 1990s, and yet Tesla became the first popular one, and they're only a popular car company because they're self-driving and their electricity. So,
like, okay,
maybe they're doing something right. I don't know.
History remembers the victors.
But, I at least thought that Neuralink would be new technology. Neuralink, of course, is the implant in the brain that allows you to access the web and all that. Basically the ultimate Cyberpunk fantasy. But no, when researching this, it turns out...
is he a villain or is he incompetent? You got to make one.
Hang on, John, go back 10 seconds. Go back 10 seconds. Hang on, we talked over.
The web and all that. Basically the ultimate Cyberpunk fantasy. But no, when researching this, it turns out that they weren't even the first people to invent this technology.
So they're developing a brain-computer interface, which is essentially a chip that's surgically implanted into the brain, or as you'd say, the spinal cord, which allows you to trigger what a computer does, or allows a computer to trigger movement in, say, a disabled person. Now, I have to say that although this sounds very sci-fi, it's in fact nothing new. In research terms and for research purposes, it's been going on for decades already. There's actually someone alive today who's been using a BCI to interact with his computer for 7.5 years straight.
The only reason why Neuralink was getting headlines before for their, the dangers with the trials and all that was because Neuralink was so incompetent sizing the implants correctly that when they put them into the animals' brains, it caused brain damage.
In 2021, 25 out of 60 pigs had the wrong size implant.
Okay, so if there's been shit going on for 50 years, why do we still have paralyzed people? Sounds like somebody's trying to advance the technology rather than just go, well, 50 years ago we did it one time, so I guess we'll never do anything ever now.
Oh, well.
Oh my God. It's like they want to advance things until one thing goes wrong or until the wrong person does it. And then they're like, wait, we can't have new technology.
Wow, Ant, what a defeatist attitude. Holy shit.
Fuck it. It's all been going on forever. Oh, but there's still miserable people. Well, it doesn't matter. They're supposed to be miserable because we already did this 50 years ago, and that's as far as we were ever meant to go.
And of course, every time there's a botched experiment, they have to be killed and the experiment has to start again. It also cites 4 further experiments.
Yep, and then we get delicious pork chops.
Including a total of 86 pigs and 2 monkeys.
Oh, they look so yummy.
Last 4 years
Let's
alone,
kill more of
has
them.
Killed about 1,500 animals. Sheep.
Does he realize that pigs and chickens die every day and we eat them?
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if Ant is a vegetarian. I really, really wouldn't.
I'm vegan, actually. There's a big difference. Allow me to make a 20-minute video explaining it to you, Backseat.
Then half the video, he doesn't even talk about vegetarianism or veganism. It's just cruelties of the food industry.
Here's how chickens live. Yeah.
Not even half. He would barely say anything about it. Like,
Oh, it's just like, hey guys, Neuralink isn't perfect all the time. In their animal trials, sometimes the animals died. Oh
Dude,
wow.
the chapter's called "I'm Losing My Mind Over Elon Musk." You don't say.
What? You're losing your mind over him.
Elon Musk, we barely even talk about him.
But he's also like paranoid about him. He is like mentally ill, paranoid. Maybe that's why he titled it that.
This is the same shit they do with Trump, where they're like, "Oh, look at how stupid he is. Oh, look at how terrible he is at everything he tries. Oh, what a fucking dumbass." And they're like, "But he's also the most dangerous person alive. Oh, he could cause all of us." It's like, dude, you got to pick a lane. Either the guy is Emperor Palpatine, or he's some dumbass who shoots himself in the head. Like, I don't.
Yes.
You got to pick one. You're either a Disney Stormtrooper or they're Emperor Palpatine. They have to be one of them.
They're obsessed with
monkeys,
trying
rats,
to
and
be
mice.
little.
Now,
ignorant.
animal
What?
testing is, of course, widespread.
What was that?
Look, Pub, what'd you say?
I said these people, they are obsessed with trying to basically claim their opponents are ignorant and don't know something, even when it contradicts what else they're trying to say.
Yep.
Well, you don't understand. This man who doesn't know the difference between a brain and a spine, he's explaining why it's dumb. You should listen to everything he says. This British man.
Yep, guys, keep talking. I'm gonna prepare my pizza. Keep going without me.
All right.
Spreads, but the difference is here is that the employees are saying that there's a lot of needless suffering and killing because Musk is specifically pushing his employees to go very quickly. He repeatedly says things like, imagine like you've got a bomb strapped to your head while you're working in order to try and motivate his employees to work faster. I'm not sure that kind of motivation would work for me in any case.
Who cares?
It's nice, you're a pussy, we get it.
It wasn't even like the technology was bad. They just screwed up the measuring.
Oh.
How? What? What? And let's be fair, ocular implants have existed for years. They've been implants in the brain that long predate Neuralink.
Okay.
But this is like if someone came up to you and took old technology, repackaged it to be fancy and smancy, but then added extra risks because of the incompetency of the people making it.
Pretty sure he's not just using the old technology. If he was doing that, then he would just do what you said. He'd repackage it. He's
of course.
trying to make it more practical, be able to use it on more people, because, again, there's a shit ton of paralyzed people still around. If everything were as hunky-dory as you make it out to be, there would be no paralyzed people, there would be no people without sight, there'd be no people without hearing. Everybody would have... Well, Stephen Hawking was around that entire time, and yet he never walked. So I'm going to say that there can be improvements. I know you may not think that, Ant, but, like, there's road to go here.
You can't, like, risks have to be taken to ensure that we're going on the right direction.
Yeah, he's just like, why are you trying to advance something when it worked so perfectly before, even though it doesn't?
Because there's always room for improvement.
Yeah.
Regardless if that's good or bad, he learned how to tie his points into his actual point in a timely manner that doesn't take the whole video.
And go, hey, do you want my new piece of tech? It's called a wrist-mounted grandfather clock. Be wary, if you bump it, it rips your fucking arm off. Like, how did we ever convince ourselves this guy was a genius when he can't even do the fucking things he's selling right?
Okay, so he's saying because some of the Neuralinks weren't measured right, that just like shut down the whole thing, never try again, I guess, is what is his point here. He's very angry about it for some reason.
Who knew Ant had such a fucking potty mouth, am I right?
Exactly, shaking do not offend us Christians. But you know what, I'm kind of wondering about the Neuralink. So how does he feel about the other companies that were doing the same thing but did not make the mistake? He didn't really elaborate at all, so I can't tell.
Yeah, he just keeps saying like, oh, it already existed. It's like, well then why don't they sell those in mass if they're so perfect? Apparently they're not perfect.
More about it.
Like, yeah.
For the brains he's putting it in, using old technology.
It's so dumb.
It's so dumb, it's brilliant.
No! It's just dumb.
So all of that we've discussed so far, that is cyber. But not so much punk. And punk is ultimately the rejection of all systems of power. And this is the most important part of the discussion. Because honestly, I don't value what Elon Musk thinks about Cyberpunk. I mean, yeah, it's impacting all of us because he's trying to own everything, but
he's not trying to own everything. People
Oh,
are worried about Microsoft and Google and all that shit. Like,
hey
yeah,
guys, Jeremy just messaged Elon Musk also produced Thank You for like not smoking or something or something like that, which is a fantastic movie apparently. Anyway,
Thank You for Smoking. I think that was a 2007 film with Aaron Eckhart where he goes into the guy who like basically got the cancer warnings on cigarettes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway. It was also a quote in RoboCop 2. Thank you for not smoking.
Also, anyways, John, what were we gonna say about him not like he doesn't want to own anything? What were you saying about that?
Oh, so Ant says Elon wants to own everything. Microsoft is like a $3 trillion company. They have way more buying power than Elon Musk. Google controls way more than Elon Musk. Fucking Meta controls. Like, there's so many more things to fear than Elon Musk. Elon Musk, yes, he individually has the most wealth. That does not mean that he has the most power to buy things. There are companies with boards of directors whose all their beliefs align and they all elect each other because they align their beliefs, and they control way more capital and have way more government contracts and they have way more control over everything than Elon Musk.
It's kind of funny because a lot of those other people, they are known to be motivated by money, when Elon Musk is very openly, widely motivated just by his desire to do and see these things happen. So,
yeah, even Twitter, who he'd be like, oh, he's trying to control everything. It's like, no, he lost money on that. And he knew he was going to lose money on that. I don't think he had any illusions of like, I'm going to increase it to above 44 billion because he knew he way overpaid for it anyway. And that was literally his whole point with buying it, that like they couldn't deny him the sale because he's so overpaid. It basically is why they couldn't deny him, because you know damn well they wanted to. They were like, oh, but it doesn't make any sense because we have a fiduciary responsibility because we're all going to make so much money off of this. Like, so no, like Microsoft, be wary of, make a whole video on Microsoft and how they're controlling everything. Shut up about Elon Musk. Jeez. I know he's the boogeyman because he doesn't align with your beliefs, and Microsoft does probably, but whatever.
We collectively think about it because we've allowed people like Musk to center themselves in the conversation when it's really not really about him at all. For so long, we've centered the entitled fanboy view of Cyberpunk. We've centered on incels taking the red pill.
We've seen a video about him getting fanboys or something. I swear he
just
really
take the fucking red pill. You want to avenge Disney Star Wars, or you don't, Ant.
Yeah, just take the red pill.
Seen them blame people for their problems. We've seen Cyberpunk taken as this action-heavy genre with cool robots and edgy, hyper-intelligent.
Some of them are.
Who can topple government behind the deck. But I'm tired of it. I'm genuinely.
Then don't watch it. Don't watch it.
Discussion centered on these.
There's a lot of stuff that does not feature that, but they appeal to a much lesser audience, and they're just stuff that is very action heavy. That is what gets mainstream success. And why do they want to get mainstream success, and movies in particular rather than books, to make money, to make more movies, and to have more people just see their product in general. So
this
that's
is
just how
literally his fucking argument from his "we need bad gay rep" video, where it's like I want more. I want this shit. And John, this was an episode that you weren't there for. You didn't debut yet. He wants more shit. He wants more mainstream shit to have shit in it that will alienate the mainstream. It's fucking stupid.
Companies should not want to make money because it's too mainstream to make money.
Yeah.
This wasn't a problem. He understood the different entertainment media. It's like, go find books and stuff. That's where you get a lot of this deep retrospective stuff that doesn't have what he doesn't want. But it doesn't appeal to the mainstream, so it doesn't get made to a movie because movie costs a lot of money to make.
Yes.
Yeah, bro. Like, go watch Ex Machina. It has Oscar Isaac. It's got Domhnall Gleeson. It's a very nice sci-fi movie, very introspective, lower budget, and doesn't have any of those terrible action scenes that make people happy. And you can go watch that with a glass of scotch and your cigarette and go, but what does it mean? And you can go watch it with human help and you can have a blast. And the rest of us are going to be off having fun with other things.
Yes.
people. I don't like Cyberpunk because it's edgy and cool. I like it because it's punk. Because it deconstructs.
Good for you.
And you are the last person in the
AI,
world who should. And you are the last person on planet Earth who would be described as a punk. Let's be real here.
Backseat, I'm pretty badass. I'll have you know. I get my switchblade out and I rob people in the back alleys.
Yeah, you're so
store.
badass you won't debate me, bro. Yeah, sure.
They think they're like edgy just because they post those "be gay, do crimes" meme one. They don't even do the second part, and a lot of them don't even do the first.
Damn it.
Excuse me, I support Pride Month, and that's pretty punk, even though all these major corporations do it as well.
Yeah.
It's pretty punk, you know?
Well, it's punk these days. No major companies, you know, checking out rainbows for Pride Month.
Oh, all right. He's got the same dark sunglasses on that I have for work.
Systems that the world will be better, because it just won't be. And it just isn't.
Oh, damn.
Rather, advanced technology often only exaggerates
You should look into
society,
Japanese and
and that's something
Chinese
that's true.
media that did not come over to the West. He gets some stuff that he would really want to see that's more so with higher budget productions, but he wouldn't because he's like a tourist.
That's some shitty AI, too. Like, it phases right through the food that he was eating.
Yeah.
Our world, and it's true in the world of the fiction that we consume. But at the same time, Cyberpunk shows us how individuals, or groups of individuals, can reject the status quo. That corporations fear most of all information. Once that information breaks free, they're holding
thinks he's RoboCop.
fragments. That is the nature of Cyberpunk. But that breaking free of control works both on the large scale and the small scale. Yeah, sure, Cyberpunk stories can be about breaking free of a government system of control or some giant techno-corporate conspiracy, but often mixed in there is a personal drama. A story about a person who's lost in the mix of life, who finds that the systems of control are keeping them from discovering their true selves, self-actualization in the machine. Wintermute and Neuromancer coming together to form.
There it is. It's back. Got more Neuromancer. Ring the bell.
Person breaking free of the shackles of control. That's the whole point of Neuromancer. And that applies in so many different ways to so many different works of fiction.
Good. I'm glad you have a lot of things to enjoy. Now leave us alone.
Or a world-ending threat. It's just about a few bio-androids who don't want to die, just as they're living long enough to value their own existences. And are coming to realize that all the moments they experienced in a matter of moments
will be lost.
Like tears in the rain.
Like tears. Rain.
Ghost in the Shell is a massive investigation, a big mystery with...
What was that?
What about the androids one? I really don't think that is a concept that can really be truly related to something that is going to happen in real life.
Yeah, I just probably wouldn't want to make those. Also, it's weird that they have like a 4-year... Yeah, Blade Runner is a very specific thing. Yeah, you're probably not going to get that in real life.
No way, Jose.
With conspiracy, sure, but at the end of the day, it's really just about one woman trying to figure out her purpose in a world that seems to deconstruct and diminish the value of being human.
What's a simulated experience again?
Well, all your memories about your wife and daughter are false. They're like a dream.
In a world where technology can digitize a soul, what value is there in human life? And if you're confronted by the horrors of the world day in and day out consistently without end, that wears down on you. Sure, Mitoko Kusanagi is an android, essentially, a cybernetic enhanced person whose flesh and almost all of her body is replaced by mechanics. But she's also just a person who's seen so much shit and has been bombarded with so much horrific stuff.
Oh, it has action scenes. Boo!
There's so many scenes of her woefully staring out at the world and just looking exhausted. Yeah, it's meant to look placid, meant to make you think, oh, she's an expressionless robot. But that's the look of fatigue you see in her eyes. Fatigue of the soul, fatigue of experience, fatigue of herself.
Or it could
and even
be
in
that
works
she's
without
just,
heavy cybernetics that are still cyberpunk.
Surprise. It could just mean she has dull surprise.
Yeah. I mean, yes, she can be world weary. And did you notice she also had action scenes when she was world weary? How strange. Anyways.
Anyway.
Akira, this personal angle is still incredibly relevant. Yes, Akira does end with a universe being birthed out of a crumbling city, one rebuilt after disaster.
I really don't
a
think
product
we
of
should bring
corruption, espionage.
What, Luck Pup?
I really do not think he should bring Akira into this.
Why?
It's just, it doesn't fit this stuff. It has a lot of, like, kind of like, I guess, fantasy elements like in Evangelion that is not really the same as like cyberpunk works that are more just focused on like a dystopian future sci-fi. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because Akira has like
I think that,
is like more about like superpowers and shit, right?
really does not relate to how he's trying to relate this to paranoia of any of this happening in the real world. It just has too much otherworldly stuff going on.
Yeah. Anyway.
Government experimentation, etc. But at the end of the day, it's ultimately about two friends who are torn apart by envy.
Yes, there's personal angles
power.
and there's the esoteric
Tetsuo
angles.
only
Great.
acts the way he does because he's given just a little bit of power, and it drives him to do things that he would never have done before.
Absolute power corrupts
but
absolutely.
Also he was gearing up to do because of the extreme envy he felt towards his friend. His value as a person was questioned, and he was pushed until he could take no more. These are stories ultimately that are about human experience in relation to the systems we inhabit. And I don't think there's any story that does that better than The Matrix. The Matrix is about an apocalypse. It's about a world torn apart. And yet, it's really about human identity in the face, in relationship to the systems that control us.
Whoa.
The Matrix is a story about shaking off the shackles of influence in order to see the world for what it truly is, a system of control that limits people. The entire series is about breaking free of that system in order to...
Well, it's just one good movie, but okay.
It's also why I honestly think the fourth film is so clever. Because corporations take
God.
What the
and turn it into another
fuck?
system
Are
of
you
control.
shitting me? The fourth film's his favorite? Get out of here. Come on, man.
Like,
oh
Matrix, I also read the books. I see the message. I like it, but Ant is like not. He wants to talk about media literacy, but he's using it not for what it's actually supposed to be, and it's just using it for his paranoia of stuff that has not happened yet. He's paranoid that it will.
He's using it to push his own views and say, I'm the smart one here. Pretty much.
Oh, Ant.
Oh,
It sells you a product in order to keep you rooted to the systems that they want you to follow. But the fourth film is about rejecting the comfort of commodified entertainment and a commodified control, removing the familiar to embrace the true revolutionary idea that you deserve something better. But most people who watch it go, Keanu Reeves, cool, slow-mo, take red pill. Red pill.
No, not for the fourth movie, actually. Oh, that's a good thumbnail. Most people who watch the fourth one they don't go, Keanu Reeves, cool, take the red pill. They go, what the fuck is this self-referential shit?
Yes.
They go, shut the hell up about your own movie and just make a sequel.
Yeah.
Pill good, without knowing what the red pill really means.
When you talk about transformation, specifically in the
It means you want Disney Star Wars to fail.
It's like, and world building and like the idea of the seemingly impossible becoming possible, I think is like, that's why it speaks to them.
How funny, because that's post-transition Lily, quote unquote, Wachowski. It's almost like they retroactively went back and said, that's what was about this the whole time, guys, I swear.
Trust me, bro.
I'm grateful.
What is that?
Yeah, like
I'm a rope that helps.
What the fuck is that?
I haven't made a successful movie since I transitioned, but it's a total coincidence, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, is Ant trying to say this is not solely a transgender allegory? That sounds pretty transphobic to me.
No. This entire movie is a transgender allegory, and all of Star Wars was just preaching about Vietnam the whole time.
Yeah.
You can't enjoy them in any other way. That's not allowed.
Keanu Reeves lay on his side, have his junk cut off, and become a total
man to woman to woman to man. Penis to vagina.
It's no surprise that the Wachowskis see got made. As an allegory for trans identity, for breaking free of the limitations of gender, breaking free of the lessons you were taught about your identity from the time you were a young child. To see the world as it truly is, sometimes that means deconstructing your own sense of identity.
Whoa!
The directors themselves.
Wait, deconstructing your own sense of identity, so you start to identify as something else? Are you saying that that's a conscious thing that you do, or maybe are encouraged into, or maybe brainwashed into, Ant? Until you're taking pills and cutting things off. Gotcha. Good job, Ant. That's right. I'm anti that as well.
Gotcha. Anyway.
I'm waiting
See the
until Ant
Matrix as
comes
an
out as
allegory for
non-binary, but doesn't change anything. That'd be funny.
It's like I'm bisexual, but I'm still only into women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's usually the easy play. It's usually chicks. They're like, "Oh, I'm bisexual. I'm part of the club. Anyways, I'm gonna keep dating men now."
Yeah, but not too. But I'm bisexual, but not too bi. See.
I'll make a general comment.
Trans. But it's not the first time
Berta,
story
she
did
becomes
something.
so isolated. She says, "I'm by myself."
Pulls out the
by
vibrator.
myself.
That, using cyberpunk as an allegory for queer identity.
Yeah.
Trouble and Her Friends is a novel by Melissa Scott. It's about a hacker named Trouble and her ex, Cerise. In a lot of
She's
ways,
trouble,
it is similar
but
to the
the
structure of your
kind you
average cyberpunk
want.
story with espionage and hacking and identities warped. And it has all the language Gibson created a decade prior in Neuromancer. Yet the key difference here is that the focus is on a lesbian couple.
Whoa.
This was 30 years ago. AIDS was still an ongoing.
I watched a lot of sci-fi lesbian films. They were all about 20 minutes long, and they were on a certain website, and you would love them. I'll recommend them a lot to you.
Hell yeah.
Hot Space Chicks from Outer Space, Part 5. Whoa.
You know, depending on your state and all, Aunt.
Yeah.
It reminds me of Rugrats, the grandpa watching Lonely Space Pistons.
Oh.
What?
Oh,
Grandpa Pickle.
Oh,
crisis.
Gramps.
This was a big deal, but what's more revolutionary isn't that there's a queer couple, but that the novel completely normalizes it.
Whoa.
There's no system you have to break through in order to exist or be together.
You know, there's something I mentioned in another video about LGBT, but, you know, ex-women couples have been considered safe in media for a while. It doesn't shock or offend anybody. They wouldn't do the same with men, really, but a lot of these types, they fail to realize this, even though they're trying to, prop this stuff up. They fail to realize, yeah, there's a reason that a lot of these stuff you see, ex-women couples, because nobody is shocked or offended by that, and a lot of people actively like it.
Yes.
Well, as long as they're hot, yes. No.
Yeah.
The narrative. While there are systems of control, this isn't controlled.
Oh my
Who you
God.
love is not a product.
Not everybody
The normalcy of trouble
is homophobic in the future. What a statement.
Friends is revolutionary, but is especially a big deal now, where corporations make representation a selling point or a damning point. Much like how the fourth Matrix repackaged the revolution.
What corporation makes it a damning point? I'd like to know.
We are packaged the revolution of gender and sexual orientation as a commodity. I'm sure many of the corporations that are pushing against DEI right now will try something.
Okay, they're not pushing against it just because they eliminate their programs. And also, DEI is not an indication of acceptance in any way. It just means that you're specifically tailoring things to be a certain way. It's not just like laissez-faire, like, oh, we'll just let things go how they want. We're not going to restrict anything. That would be seen as anti-DEI to him.
Yeah.
Sell a product to the queer community to show, hey, we're really on your side. Buy our product. Buy it. Because naturally,
everybody knows
you're
this.
given
Yeah,
options.
2025, we know.
What was that?
Yeah, it's 2025, we know. I hate when they do this. They're like, oh yeah, the corporations, they don't really support you. Yeah, we all know. Get on with it.
Well, how
other people were
else
calling
would
that
you
out
have
way
known
before
unless
you.
Ant didn't say it, though?
I love how a lot of people
I
were
know,
calling that
again.
way before him, and he probably was like, no, you're just bigoted. And now that it's cool to say it, he's like, oh, allow me to hit you with this tidbit, kids.
Provided are all designed to make us feel more isolated, and then say, hey, here's your community. Pay a little fee and get in. That is the essence of the corporation, and why cyberpunk through a corporation can never truly be punk. Because at its core, all it is.
Okay, so you only like indie cyberpunk. Got it.
A product. All these
And I
billionaires
said it
live their
before,
role-play
but
fantasies.
for a lot of cyberpunk, punk is simply a word attached to it. It's not trying to be actual punk, as in the sense of the word punk. It's like calling something core, basically a suffix.
Yeah.
Playing with assets they already own to make themselves feel like they're breaking through the system, to feel the rush of roleplay. But it's not. It's hollow, empty, vacant. This is one reason why I always need to question when a cyberpunk story focuses on police officers as the protagonists. This was very common, especially in the low-budget world where everyone tried to copy Blade Runner but forgot to make it as deep as Blade Runner. Officers are ultimately arbiters of control and authority.
He really hates that Cybertruck design.
Anti-authority genre. But I feel Ghost in the Shell work here because despite being about...
I'm sorry he made it blocky looking, Ant. That seems to have really hashtag triggered you.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus, if he had made it rounded, would you be okay with the Cybertruck?
Law enforcement, both Murphy and Motoko Kusanagi subvert authority.
Wow.
Their bodies are both products of
It's almost like that was
government,
blatantly obvious in the movie and nobody misunderstood
in the face of all that. It is ultimately their transcending of their limitations that leads to them becoming real. In the case of RoboCop, it involves knocking the man atop it all off a building, which is fun to watch. While in Ghost in the Shell, it's more subtle.
No, it's fun.
The Puppet Master and Motoko are able to blend into one, becoming more...
Anyone who's actually watched the show, I don't think it's subtle at all. It's obvious who it's supposed to be.
Yes.
Your effort to remain what you are is what limits you. I am connected to a vast network that has been beyond your reach and experience. We have been subordinate to our limitations until now. The time has come to cast aside these bonds and to elevate our consciousness to a higher plane.
The Puppet Master is ultimately a program made to harvest information, but it gains sentience on the web by interacting with and consuming new information. It seeks Motoko out in order to...
Remind you that the web depicted these older shows are completely different to the web they have today, but they may not get that.
They are so similar. Both products designed to defend the interests of a governing body, and both questioning their value in the face of that. Should one take away the government programming or the government modifications, what is left of the individual behind all that? Once you strip away someone of their occupation and job, who really are they? Especially if it's a high-paying job, one that takes up so much of your time and so much of your physical well-being. It's something that, interestingly enough, is also the motivation of Wintermute and Neuromancer, two AI who seek to merge in order to gain information and experience beyond their current state as slaves. It's funny how these are motivations so often in Cyberpunk. The AI...
Yeah, so often because you brought up Neuromancer 50 times.
Until it is no longer controlled by the very programming instilled within it. It moves past its purpose and finds value in freedom, in liberty. Even if the AI no longer exists as it once was, that's still a better alternative to remaining a slave. Fiction is a revolutionary concept in many ways because it allows us to explore the idea of deconstructing the systems in our lives that control and manipulate us.
I feel like there's 1,000 other uses of fiction than just that, Ant. I seriously,
that's it.
I seriously doubt fucking cavemen thought of this. Come on, we gotta deconstruct the caveman society. Fucking aesthetic,
attacked by those who seem to love it so deeply. Body modification. In the 1980s, body modification was a big deal.
People who get tip jobs are in the corporate
Clive Barker famously based his Cenobites off the extreme body modification scene in the gay punk movement of the 80s. However, Cyberpunk is also tied into this, with people getting augmentations. Molly from Neuromancer has scalpels under her nails and sunglasses buried over her eyes.
We know, you've talked about Neuromancer so much.
And Murphy's entire bodies are cybernetic enhancements designed to help them complete their jobs. The Wachowskis famously considered making the character switch so that she had a different gender, depending on whether or not they were in or out of the Matrix.
Wow.
Even the idea of the net is that you could become something wholly unlike yourself, limited by only the imagination and how much money you can spend on your digital avatar in some cases. Even Ready Player One, a completely sycophantic worship of consumer culture, gets this right by allowing people to select unique avatars to change their appearance in the game. But as we see in stuff like the recent Cyberpunk 2077, I think modern people accept that the modifications have to make people more beautiful. All the edits are hypersexual, and thus read as degeneration by a certain...
Controversial Cyberpunk in-game ad featuring trans women. What a hypersexualized in-fiction ad reveals about highly anticipated RPG. Okay, they were trying to push some trans shit, like, who cares? Like, I thought he was talking about mods that made the characters have big tits or something.
Right-wing population. And not, just self-expression. After all, what's the point of changing yourself if it isn't for some fetish or it doesn't have some combat capabilities, right? That's the idea that Cyberpunk 2077 presents in theory, though a deeper dive shows it's far more complicated and far more nuanced than that. But since when have these audiences ever looked past the skin-deep surface?
Well, why don't you go in
But now
deep?
we're seeing regulations on what we are able to do to
You've had an hour.
to express ourselves individually. Even in punk settings, people are always able to express themselves with the clothing they wear, or the piercings they have, or the hair they choose. We are becoming that which back in the 70s we fought to deconstruct. Funny how that works out, isn't it? Well,
Yeah, hilarious. What was that? What was that?
Yeah, like who is we? I really can't stand when they say that.
I don't know. I guess he's like saying that he's behind on fashion and so everybody else is.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm wearing something that back in the 60s would have been punk. Isn't that crazy, guys? It's like, well, yeah, things have changed in 50 years. I don't know what to tell you.
If you
Wow,
can deconstruct
Andrew's
something
such a
once, you
rebel.
can deconstruct it again. Because if
Is
even
that
the
like your
outlets that the people are
grandpa's
trying to
like
express them,
leather jacket from the 50s or something?
He's snapping his fingers like sharks.
Hey! Fucking Christ.
themselves are restricted, well, without an outlet.
Oh my
the
god, you
dam
can hear the
must
leather
flow
creasing.
somewhere. You can only bottle up.
You can hear the leather creasing.
And contain human experience and emotion for so long before it erupts. And usually, it erupts through fiction, through the written word, through ideas presented in stories. That's why book bans happen so often.
Book bans.
Books and people restrict books to suppress the spread of ideas.
What books
Nothing
are
is more
being
dangerous than
banned? Which
Why are you banning the pornos from the kindergartners? It's just like a sci-fi villain. Oh my gosh.
When they say bans, they like they're being like made illegal. No, they're just being taken out of certain libraries. Like, come on.
Well, if you don't make them freely available to children, then you're pretty much burning them.
Yeah.
In a way that's compelling and inspiring. In a lot of ways, the cyberpunk movement is an architect of what we're seeing now. But it's also a guideline on how everything may go down. But it also shows the power of literature to influence reality.
Wow.
Storytelling has been misconstrued by bad actors, and these bad actors are trying to
Not
make
the
their
bad
fantasies a reality. They're skin deep
Look
He
who's
hasn't brought up Elon
talking.
Musk in 20 fucking minutes.
Oh my
like,
God.
dude. Talking about being
He is
misconstrued.
crying about the prospect of books like Jacob's New Dress getting banned from kindergartners to read.
Yes.
Now he's paranoid about these evil bad actors. Oh, can't have those.
Nope. Oh, sirree. Anyway.
of social satire, but it has also given way to inspiration, to creativity that can drive movements. And yes, these systems of control are designed to pit you against the people you're told are threats. There's a number of them, and that number is just going to keep increasing. And you're focused on the people who are causing you problems you believe, but in actuality, those who control everything are laughing at you. You are given an illusion of control,
You know,
of a
it's
solution.
funny that they bring this stuff up, but they call a lot of other people who have similar beliefs but different, basically are not woke, but are distrustful of government and other stuff. The evil conspiracy theorists are like, oh, look at how dumb these conspiracy theorists are. Oh, they believe in conspiracies. They must believe the Earth is flat too. Look how dumb these people are. But oh wait, they're so evil, guys.
It's a
You
conspiracy,
believe in
man.
corporations when it agrees with me.
But yeah, then they're over here saying this.
It's like whenever we call out the corporations for something we disagree with, they're like, how dare you? You're so hateful. Just accept the corporate slop, but also the corporations are laughing at. It's like, well, do you want me to be against them or not? Like,
Yes. Ant is a fence rider. He just doesn't know it.
I'm sorry that like you agree with the corporations when they agree with you, and I do the same thing. We just happen to agree on different things, but like, geez. Doesn't mean that I blindly accept everything they do and you don't. You agree with them probably more than I do.
Yeah.
That, a simple, basic illusion, a consensual hallucination granted to you by someone with a vested interest to manipulate you. You are in that matrix now. If you buy anything these people are selling you.
Whoa.
Look,
You want to know what's really
the same talking points of people that they attack and label as like the most evil, dumb people ever. I'm genuinely amazed right now. These are the exact same words that he would hate from people he claims to be on the other side.
I bought some shit from Steam earlier today. That means that I'm like in the Matrix or some shit.
Oh,
I'm
no.
sorry. I can't judge the corporations anymore. I can't say that, all that shit that I said about Microsoft being bad and controlling. I didn't really mean it because I bought shit.
I bought Tekken 2 over the PlayStation Network. I'm in the Matrix now.
You're pretty much a slave to Sony. They're gonna put neural implants in you next, bro.
Oh no.
Oh dear.
It's a good thing they're not Musk's. Theirs will work perfectly all the time.
Yeah.
Hey, Cyberpunk. People who create programs that cause generative AI systems, the machine learning, to collapse upon itself, to poison the learning models. It's people who find solutions to the energy crisis that involves less energy being consumed, less pollution being sent out, and potentially preserving the environment. Punk now is fighting against the systems that want to keep things the way they are, working against conformity and stagnation to make things better. We are currently living in a system of high technology and low life.
Okay, and
Today
what's your
is the
alternative?
cyberpunk reality.
Doesn't sound like you have an alternative planned out.
See, you say that Elon Musk is so bad, and yet everything you just named, it sounds like he's doing. Like he bought Twitter to go against the system, where everybody else was speaking and censoring and moderating the exact same. He's making the environmental shit with the cars. So what's the why you haven't talked about Elon Musk for like 20 minutes, but why are you specifically against him again?
That Neuromancer presented. The only difference is we don't have a massive sprawl, but we do have corporations that own everything. We don't have the consensual hallucination of the net, but we do have social media that becomes a replacement for living your life. Where algorithms
Fix your hair, you got that one strand down.
Where a change in the algorithm will change entire cultures, unless we circle around the ideas that mean a lot to us, that we continue to push, that we continue to focus and spread
what
creativity that we want to see in the world. Because as you can see already, people can take
words but without
the
the
wrong idea
behind
Mm. That we continue to push, that we continue to focus and spread the creativity that we want to see in the world. Because as you can see already, people can take the wrong idea from fiction. They can take the wrong idea from
and how much
media,
money
but they
does
cannot
your
take away the
creativity make? How about that, Ant? How much money have you made off all your fucking video essays?
He takes the right ideas, though, Backseater. He regurgitates the same points that the corporate film told him to think, and that makes him punk or whatever. I don't know. He's like, you have to simultaneously hate everything the corporations make, but also all these corporate films that were made, I agree with them saying corporation's bad, but it was made by a corporation, so I'm blowing up my mind.
Punk. But for as much as they ignore it, those who resonate with the message will continue to reject the status quo and push and push and push. Counterculture has always existed, no matter what.
How's that working out for you?
And counterculture.
I mean, there's different types of countercultures too. There always has been, and that's true even more so today.
Fight will continue. Street graffiti has always existed, even in the most intense regimes, because street art is a way of self-expression. When all avenues are closed, people find a way. I want to close out this video with a quote from Ursula K. Le Guin.
I bet
Le Guin famously wrote a short story called "The Ones Who Walk Away from Omelas," where a society continues to run, a paradise even, but it only can function if one person is left in deplorable conditions. If one soul is tormented and tortured and left alone in a basement, shackled, starved, then the rest of society can live just peacefully. But they all have to function, knowing what's going on. They have to walk on streets knowing that below their feet one soul suffers, and those who walk away can no longer stomach the pain. They reject the paradise in faith that something better exists, or in protest of the horror. Le Guin, I think, had a great line. Le Guin, in her acceptance speech for the National Book Foundation's medal, had this powerful statement that I think sums up everything I just said better than I ever could.
Really?
Here's the quote.
Books aren't just commodities. The profit motive is often in conflict with the aims of art. We live in capitalism. Its power seems inescapable, but then again, so did the divine right of kings. Any human power can be resisted and changed by human beings. Resistance and change often begin in art. Very often in our art, the art of words.
Congratulations. Yes. Chain artists are very important, as she spoke to a bunch of artists and said how important they were, and she filleted all of them and said how they're going to overthrow all the capitalists while at a dinner who probably cost a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
Sounds like a champagne socialist.
Oh my god, that is pretty much Ant. That is a big facet of Ant's character. He is a champagne socialist.
He's a communist with a Gucci bag. Got his Prada kicks. Gotta have his swag.
Yeah. Oh my God. Closing arguments. Let's see here. So John, let's start with you. Closing arguments.
I think he talked about Elon Musk for about 3 minutes this video, and it was pretty loose connections of he had some experiments that went bad, so that's somehow connected to the evil sci-fi people that control everybody. I don't even fucking know why this video has Elon Musk in the title, because it should have been called Neuromancer and how it relates to our world today or some shit.
Evan, closing arguments.
This was literally Ant Review's nonsensical cyberpunk novels, the musical.
Luck Pup, closing arguments.
Yeah, I said most of what I wanted to say, but it seems like he really just wanted to talk about like his ideas about cyberpunk and all how it relates to reality and what is punk, and just wanted to dig at Elon Musk and also use his name for clickbait. But just a question here, I've mentioned it before. Does anybody know if Ant has ever said that he was any part of the LGBTQ? I'm just curious.
Ant is, but he claims he's bisexual. He says he is, but I think he's just gay.
I was gonna say he claims to be bisexual, but he's never taken it up the ass. So,
yeah.
Except metaphorically.
Yeah.
So he needs to prove himself.
Here's my guess. He's married to a woman, but they have an open relationship on her side.
That explains everything.
Wait, so Cuck is one of the LGBT plus because he sits in the chair and watches.
LGBTQIA plus.
He's one of those one. He's a keyhole cuck. He's got to listen with the glass to the door. He's like, somebody's coming, guys. You've got to get under the blankets, honey. I'll protect you.
Plus, the plus is downloadable content.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Anyway, so we've said about all we have to say for this week. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, comment below if you love it, subscribe if you want more videos like this, and we'll see you guys next time in the backseat. Take care.